where the fast life meets the fast lane.
Yeah.
You're now tuned into Bars and Hoops Radio. Where the world of hip-hop and sports live.
Dropping the clutch and then I hit the gas. Wheels screeching, tires burning, I'm flying past. Gotta get home quick, don't wanna miss the class. They schooling you on whips and how to make them fast. Talking about everything from cars to planes. What's hot, what's next, and how to flip the game. They talk in my language, we speak the same. That whip talk complex, but yet they keep it plain. From the news, the interviews, they keep it cool. They give reviews, everything from parts to tunes. Can't lose, come to whips, they not no fools. Don't miss the show, the start time is noon. The bearded one, S.I. Sean, they crazy though. You can't miss it, tune in the Rally Radio.
Where the fast life meets the fast lane.
Whoop, 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 whoop. You already know what it is, kid. It's the bearded one in the building, and we got a special guest in here with us today. Needs no introduction, but we're going to do one anyway. At the end of the day, we got one of the biggest motorcycle enthusiasts that we do have here, dog owner, and also EDM producer and DJ. All in the city circuit. Got a lot of things we're going to be talking about today. I personally would like to thank him for showing up to our show, Rally Radio. You already know what it is. Saturdays, 12 noon. We have our guy in the show, Nicky Cretella. Let's go.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Let's go. Shout to everybody who tuned in paying attention. My man Nicky's tuned in. He's with us today. We got a lot of questions for him. It's a lot of things going on today. You know how we get down. A lot of things you're going to want to talk about, but before we even get into all of that, man, like I said, I want to say thank you for tuning in with us today, for rocking with us today. You know what I mean? Yeah. Definitely excited about this interview. Been letting people know all week it's about to go down. Don't forget, tune in, jump in live. You already know what it is. Don't forget to drop your comments, likes, comments, subscribe, share. You already know what it is. You know where to find us, YouTube at Rally Radio Podcast. And with that being said, it's the bearded one in the building. Got my guy Nicky Cretella tuned in here. Let me tell you something, man. We was having a good conversation before the show started. I'm telling you, it's going to be very interesting today. He had a lot to say, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna curb it because I want everybody to hear what we're talking about. But before we get into that, you already know what it is. I want to send a couple shout outs, man. Shout out to Rick's Magazine. Shout to Rick's Magazine. They had one of the greatest car shows the other week. I didn't come on live after that because I really wanted to talk about it to everybody. It's going to be part of our cold start this morning. You know what I mean? First and foremost, Nicky, how you be feeling about car shows when you go there? Or motorcycle shows, rather? What's the thing that grabs you the most? You know what I mean?
They're fun until the cops show up and break it up, honestly. You know what I mean? When everyone's bouncing off the limiter and they got the stereo system going, that's a good time, but they always try and come in the fun.
They ruin the fun.
They do.
You know what's funny? I was looking at something they were talking about over there by Pelham Park or whatever, Woodlawn. It looks like these guys are showing up. They having their own little car shows with their music out though, but they wowing. They got like big house speakers that I'm trying to figure out how they even brought it in the car.
Yeah, like the Dominican shit where they have the doors and the trunks blown out with like 7 sides. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's the stuff that drive me up the wall. But I was like, so they've been playing that music so loud, like everybody beefing. And now the NYPD has officially announced the other day with Mayor Adams that they're gonna have what they call a quality of life, a quality of life group that's going to be walking around taking care of those little quality of life issues like noise, spitting, all that crazy. That's the same thing I say, son. To me, it's like,
can't
whatever.
Fun at all. As soon as the party lights come on, the party stops. That's just how it is.
You know what, though? But usually that's when, how that song used to go, Ludacris, if I take one more drink. You know, when the lights come on, you get to see what you was dancing with for the past. And you a club guy. Shout out to my guy, Nicky. So he's definitely going to tell us. There's definitely some things going on.
When the lights come on, it gets a little scary sometimes. Depends on what you're drinking or what you're taking. When the lights come on. I've been there.
Listen, I tell you what, I live a married life now. I live a married life. But I do know what you're talking about, though. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, shout to everybody who's tuned in, paying attention. Don't forget, drop a like, drop a comment so we can shout you out. You already know what it is. We are in the building. like I said, we're going to set it off with our cold start, man. Let's get into this a little bit. So, with that being said, we've had a situation for the past couple weeks. And like I said, this is the time where politics and automakers are really intertwined. We've never seen nothing like this before. It hasn't been like this blatant as it is.
Yeah.
Now, at first, Trump started with or Trump administration rather, started with the tariffs. And he always said tariffs to him is a sexy word. He said, you know what? This is what it's going to be. You know, we can make a little bit of the money. You don't pay taxes, but we have everybody else pay our taxes by raising the tariffs. So at first he started with the autos, 25% on all the autos that's coming in, right? Yeah. Autos, automotive parts, and trucks. But it looks to be hurting American car companies too. So what I wanted to really say about it is, like I said, Nicole started. We just got to be mindful, right, that even though the tariffs and all of these different things are going on, we gotta keep in mind that this is our administration for now. It really is. I mean, like, he was voted in by a majority of the country. And there was a reason for that. And I think the real reason is that people was tired of the status quo. You know what I mean? And they felt that he was going to do something. Now, I'm not saying what he's doing is right or wrong. I'll just say this. When it comes to tariffs, you can see how these things have upset the apple cart a little bit. You see how it could mess up people who was thinking about retiring. Their 401ks, 457s drop to the floor. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got a lot of different things going on, but we just got to ride the wave. Pause. We got to, see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, we got to see, what's going to happen here. Are these car companies going to really start rooting themselves in the United States? Is that going to make cars cheaper? I don't think so, because even now, when they do business in the United States, they're going to have to worry about paying employees a fair wage. And then they got to make sure that they doing what they got to do to keep them safe. It's gonna cost. But is it better for the United States? If it works, it could be. You know what I mean? We could bring some things back. But we got to see, man. Shout out to everybody who's tuned in, paying attention. Don't forget, drop a like, drop a comment so we can shout you out. You already know what it is, man. But that's kind of what we're thinking right now. At the end of the day, we just got to see where this plays out now. Yeah. He's in office, and he got he's doing what he wants. And like I said,
definitely do what he wants.
That's a fact. He's doing what he wants. And the majority of the country voted for him. So it's like we can't even get mad. It's like can't get mad. The process played out, and this is what it is. Now, as far as the autos are concerned, I believe that, well, he's trying to get you to buy more American cars, but this is actually hurting American cars. Stellantis right now, they had to stop production because some of their thing was they had factories in Canada and things. They were sending them over because it was cheaper for them. Mm-hmm. Now, because of these tariffs, it's going up. Yeah. So now they may have to even bring themselves all the way back and bring Detroit back with the with putting their factories back there. It's just going to be a very interesting ordeal. We got to still sit here and wait and see how it play out, because now it looks like you know what? We could bring the tariffs down on everybody else except China. He ain't playing neither. Nah, he said, nah, son. The other night I went to sleep. I woke up. And I think I went to sleep, it was 125%. I woke up, it was 145. That's old. He might as well just tell them, don't bring your stuff over here. You know what I mean? But it's definitely going crazy. Shout out to everybody who's tuned in, paying attention. Got my guy, Nicky Cretella, in the building. We about to get into this interview. You know how we get down, man. We love our listeners. We love our people. With that being said, we're going to jump right in. Let's get right to this interview that we got going on. Let's go.
Driver's etiquette. Because sometimes you got to get this off your chest.
Shout out to everybody who's tuned in, paying attention. My guy Nicky's in the building. We appreciate him early. Got so many questions for you, man. But we're going to start it off. First off, thanks for stopping by the pod, man. We appreciate you here, man. Yeah. Definitely appreciate you coming through. You know what I mean? Taking time out of your busy schedule. You know what I mean? With that being said, introduce yourself to the Rally Radio family. Let them know exactly what you do and how you do it. Let's go.
So Nicky Cretella, and I just do what I want. You know what I mean? I've been a DJ since I was 18 years old.
Let's go.
And I just fell in love with it ever since. I've been riding bikes since I was like 9, 10, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I fell in love with that ever since. And then just the two of those combined, that's just really been me. It's just been all I've been doing my whole life. It's just bikes, music, DJing.
That's what I'm talking about right there. First off, shout to you.
Thank you.
So my thing now is, and like I said, I love motorcycles too. Right now, I have a Suzuki GSXR 1000, 2006. I'll be honest, I know it's an older bike.
No, I love that body style.
I love that
body style. I had an 04 750.
Oh.
That body style, I know what that is. I like that. I've had that.
And I tell cats all the time, that's one of the last ones with a throttle cable. That's one of the last ones. After that, they throttle cable, they wire to wire, throttle fly by wire. So now it's like computers talking to each other instead of having real throttle. But when would you say, at what age, now we're going to get into that a little bit, you did a little, what age would you introduce into the motorcycles and what was the turning point for you to start riding?
I would say I was like 9 years old. I went to my boy, Frankie, Anthony, and Daryl, their house.
Shout out to Frankie.
Kids I've been friends with for a long time. KX60. Damn. Some like 1980 shit. You know
Early.
what I mean? Old bike.
Yeah.
I just like the smell, the two-stroke, and the sound. I was like, this is it. You know what I mean? I knew my mom and dad wasn't going to go for it, but like as soon as I saw it at that age, I just knew like that. And ever since then, I started on clutch to learn how to ride. Okay. And then ever since then, I've been hooked. Dirt bikes, quads, street bikes, everything.
So that's what I wanted to ask you, because in some of your videos, for those that don't follow him, make sure you follow him on Instagram at Nicky Cretella. I seen a couple of the videos and I seen you throwing up the four-wheelers and all of that. And I'm like, damn. Then I see you go from that to the street bike, to the two-strokes, to the dirt bikes. And I'm just like, damn. Like, so what would be your preference, though? Like, if you could choose and there wasn't no laws, what would it be? What would be your preference?
Probably a street bike, because I could bring a girl on the back. You know what I mean? You could do the same with the quad, but it's different. Like, you want to go out to, like, dinner, go out and grab a few drinks. You know what I mean? It's just different. It's a different ride, honestly.
So I gotta say right there, you're 1,000% right. Like I said, owning my street bike, it's kind of, where I met my wife. You know what I mean? When I met my wife, I had this bike, and I took her for a ride a couple times. You're right, and that's probably it. That's probably kind of where it died down for me, because when you have somebody on the back of that bike, if they don't know how to rock with you, they could throw you off.
It's bad. If they don't lean when you lean, then it's a wrap.
That's a fact. If they don't lean when you lean, it is over.
It's over.
But I gotta say, like when you say dirt bikes, street bikes is a different ride, right? Yeah. And you would prefer the street bikes over the dirt bikes if you got company. Like, if I got company,
all day, 100%. It's the sound, it's the pull, it's the feel, the weight of the bike. You know what I mean? It's just it's a different demon.
So with that being said, right? When we go to your gram, the first thing I see is bikes. Right? What are you currently riding right now? What you got right now?
Right now, I got a 99 CBR 600 F4 carbs and shoots flames. Yeah. So straight pipe aftermarket headers is just basically a soda can on the back. Early. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, it's nice. It's nice.
So is that like that's the one you stunting with right there? That's the stunt right there. It's a stunt bike. That's what I'm talking about.
That's my little baby right now. Usually I flip them and sell them and get rid of them in like a week, couple months. Or a season. Okay. But this one I'm keeping for sure.
Shout to my guy JT tuned in early. Let's go. Said we out here doing the Lord's work. You already know what we doing. We in here today. So now when you say like you buy them and flip them. So do you feel like, do you get time to like really, really sit down and like when you do that, you get to be with the machine, or you like, yo, I'm just here for the ride, fam. Let's keep it a buck.
Honestly, like when I've sold them, I've been like in a pinch where I need this money.
Copy that.
And then as soon as I get back up, it's like, why'd I sell it? You know what I mean? But right now, like I've been doing some work to it. I've been making it nice, making sure everything's good. And it's just no point, because I hate dealing with Marketplace. Yes. I hate those people. I cannot stand them. Yeah. And I hate DMV. So that's why I'm done. This is it. I might get another bike, but if I do, it'll probably be from a dealer or some old guy that hasn't touched it and it's not beat to death, because half these people that have it don't change the oil. They're bouncing off the limiter all the time. They don't warm it up. You know what I mean? They start it right up and hit the limiter. I hate that. When I show up, you lost me immediately. I'm not buying that piece of shit. You know what I mean? They're meant to take a beating, but like there's a line. Might as well kick the bike over at that point, because I'm not touching it.
Yo, and I'll be feeling the same. And I tell cats all the time, when you go check a bike, right? I don't want to pull up and it's on already. Don't play that game with me. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, don't let me pull up, try to get the motorcycle, and you like, oh, I turned it on for you. Nah. Yeah. Because I need to see what the bike sound like straight from start. Shout to my guy, B. Durr. He said, DJ Nicky, that's my boy. Shout to him. He told them that's your people. You're like, yo. Yeah. So my thing is, right, when it comes down to it, what would be the dream bike for you to own? Dream joint. Like, you know what? I got bread. I'm making it happen. This is the bike I want.
I'd probably either say an H2 or S1000, just because the BMW look, you know what I mean? The H2. I don't really like the bird whistle, like the turbo. You know what I mean? To me, it's a little annoying. I like that raw, straight up, like catless fucking street bike sound. Everything is straight piped. All my bikes are straight piped because one sounds cool. It's for real, as corny as it sounds. Loud pipes save lives. You know what I mean? People, when you split in lanes, not that I do that, but when you split lanes, you know what I mean? The cars will most likely, if they're not do nod, they'll see you or they'll hear you.
Right,
you know what I mean? They'll look back and be like, "What is that?"
So let me ask you a question. You stunting in the street right now, or it's like, well, you know what? We don't want to incriminate nobody. We'll scrub that conversation for later. But when you're in Mexico, right? When you're in Mexico, is that like what's the thrill in that? You feel what I'm saying?
I mean, Mexico or like GTA, you know what I mean? Definitely splitting lanes, ripping around. You always got to ride a high RPM because that's just how it has to be. Those bikes are made for.
Fact.
You know what I mean? Most of them too, because if you don't and you're just lugging them around, all the carbon builds up on the piston, and then that's more likely how your bike's going to blow up. So people think you're getting on it is beating it up in a sense, but it's actually healthy for the bike because no carbon can build up on the piston. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Frankie. He told me that he's a mechanic, so I just get all the secondhand knowledge.
Shout to Frankie. I will say this, he's 1,000% right. There's a lot of times, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Ford versus Ferrari with Matt Damon and this dude, I forget the other cat's name, but he talked about that. He was like, yo, a lot of cats don't drive their cars. Yeah. And then when they drive them, they hear the car go upstairs. They think you breaking. They're like, nah, a lot of these cars need that. Yeah. You knock the dust off. That's what we calling it, right? Yeah. They knock the dust off. Yeah. So a lot of cats are not really into it like that. They actually lose out and not do that. So
yeah, none of my shit's dusty.
I hear that.
You know what I mean?
Ripping
it. As soon as it's warm, out.
Yeah?
Out. You'll hear me. People hear me all the time that I know. They already know that was me. My boy was working at the school the other day, and I was ripping like 4 o'clock after whatever. He saw me. He knew. He just got that distinct sound. But you have to ride like that because I feel like if you don't, what's the point? Go play golf. You know what I mean? Go play golf. If you can't ride your bike like it's supposed to, why you have it? Or I hate when guys winterize it. What does that mean? It's too cold? Imagine telling your girl it's too cold to go for a ride. Stop. I don't fuck with that. Sorry.
Yeah, we going.
You know what I mean? When your bike's wrapped up and you drained everything, what is that? That's disgusting to me. I ride all year round in the snow. There's a picture on my Instagram, my first bike. Yes. In the snow. That's real shit. And there's tire marks in the back. I was riding. You know what I mean? Because I was getting pissed that I heard quads and I didn't have one. So I said, fuck this. I'm going to start. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what it was.
So if that's the case, right? I'm going to say this, right, for the most part, like, all the time that I've been riding, right, to me, there's a line, right? Where you be like, yo, you know what, man? And I've had those, what I like to say, I don't care moments. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, you know, I'm taking this. It is what it is, right? Yeah. I feel like that's when you do your best ride. You know? Let me keep it a buck. Yeah. Like, most of the time, like, when you, like, let everything go into the wind, I'm not saying, like, you out here running red lights and doing all kind of crazy stuff, but I mean,
I never do nothing illegal on the bike.
Of course
Ever.
Not. None of us do.
Never.
None of us. None of us do. But I will say that what is it, right? What's some of the, you ever looked at some of the most prominent stunters and who are some of them that you was like, yo, he's killing it? What's some of the stunters that you ever watched? There's one in particular that I used to look at.
Brian 636. He's good. Adrenaline Crew. I grew up on them. That was like YouTube when I had the fat square Dell. Adrenaline Crew. They're like old as fuck now. They're not even probably around. They are, but their Instagram has like 2,000 followers. That's how old they are. They used to be famous for like DVDs and shit. I grew up on them. Yes. That's really who I used to like watch a lot.
So I'm going to put you on the one I was watching too. When I was riding, well, I still ride, but Wink 1100.
I never heard.
So when you get a chance, right, he rode for Rough Riders. So at the end of the day, I know you've seen it, and especially now in the street, everybody a Rough Rider and all that. They buy the
They were at the meet the other day. I see him all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
But Wink was the one. He was the one that when Rough Riders first came out, like as a music group, he was the one standing up on the bike 12 o'clock. all that
Rough Riders
scrape
Anthem.
something.
That video, that was one of the first things that I saw. I was like, I need to have one of those one day. You know the Rough Riders Anthem music video?
Yeah.
The guy's doing the wheelie as soon as, I don't know what, if
That's-
it's the LIE or what.
Yeah.
But as soon as I seen that, like I fell in love. It's the sound, bro. And that movie Biker Boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know that movie?
Yeah, of course.
That was like the one that really like did it for me. I had a street bike before I graduated high school.
Damn.
You know? Birthday was May 4th.
Right.
So when I hit 18, I finally got money out of that like CD account or whatever that bullshit was. Right to U-Haul, rented a van, street bike, done. That was it.
Early.
Bought it brand new. It was a disgusting bike. It was a 250, but it was a year old at 400 miles.
Yeah.
I flipped it for 3 G's, bought an R6, and then that was my real. It was just basically a flip to get something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was a kid. I was 17. I didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? I probably had like 20-something street bikes since then.
Word?
Yeah, at least. I've had a lot.
So rifle off a couple of them.
I've had Gixxer 750. I had an R1.
Right.
It was an 02. After 07 or 08, they made them sound like Ducatis.
Yes.
I don't like that. Sounds
No? I like that twin sound. Yeah.
I just like that raw street bike. So I had that, R6, a couple Ninja 636s. Right now I have the CBR 600. I've had another CBR 600. I've had everything from 600, 636, 750, 1000 in the street bike world. Everything.
Which one was the better ride in your opinion as far as power? I mean, we know the 1000 gives you the power, but I always say at the end of the day, you never could get the all of that bike.
No, and that's what I hate. People say like they want a 1000 just to like flex.
Right.
But I promise you, I'll smoke anybody with my 600 in traffic with their 1000, and I'll put money on it. Are your bike's fast, but are you? You know what I mean? A lot of people just like to flex that. Oh, I have a 1000, or I want to get a 1000. But bro, you don't even know what to do with that.
Early.
You know what I mean?
Early.
I've hit 90 something in first gear on the R1, right? And it was just about to redline.
Yes.
That's crazy. Think about that.
Yeah.
90 in the first gear.
I'm gonna tell you, my Suzuki GSXR 1000 to take you to 103 first gear.
And that was at a track too.
Oh, see, yeah, mine was in Mexico. But shout to everybody who's tuned in, paying attention. Shout to my dude, Mr. 2J Castings. Shout to Darth Spalding. Shout to my guy, Raheem Owens. Shout to the Brown Hornet. Shout to Zoom for Zoom. And shout to Draco. You already know what it is. Shout to everybody who's tuned in, paying attention. He said, it's snowing out here. Come on, son. Zoom for Zoom. What's that? But listen, don't say that too loud. My guy, Nicky over here, he going to be up there with the 1000 in the air. You already know what it is. But so my thing has always been, and like I said, there's a lot of misconceptions about street riders. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, they stupid and this, that, and the third, or they not looking out. Yo, to be totally honest with you, I feel like the street riders sometimes be the safest dudes. And I'll tell you why. Because sometimes, even though they're in the wheelie or whatever they doing, they already probably peeped the whole situation. Yeah. It's more dangerous when it changes. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Because when I'm playing video games and I'm splitting lanes on the
right,
whatever
in
highway,
Mexico.
I already know what my move is for them. When they move out the way and think they're gonna, save me, they're actually gonna fuck me up. You know what I'm saying? And it's safer to me to split lanes to get away from the cars and be all in front of them after a red light. Because I don't like to get when someone stops short. A lot of these people don't look. I've been riding for a long time, and even till this day, like I'll still get clipped like close.
Right.
Even if I'm riding safe.
Right.
Which is rare, but if I'm just ripping it and getting on it, you know what I mean? But I feel like that's just how you have to ride. Like you just get so in tune with it. Like once that starts, once my bike's warm, and then the tires are warm, I'm out.
That's it. It's ready to go.
Because like I said, go play golf if you're not going to ride like it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
And I always say that too. I remember I took my motorcycle. I took it to Myrtle, Black Bike Week, whatever, right? And when I took it down there, my homeboy, rest in peace, one of my best people, like my brother Kerry, he passed away, so I had to go to his funeral in Atlanta, right? So I caught myself riding this road called the 378, and I was young. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, damn, son, my homeboy passed away. Life is like that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying to myself.
Yeah.
So I take this GSXR 1000 to the limit. Because I was riding from Myrtle. I had to go to another spot in South Carolina, and then we was going to drive to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yo, I took this bike to fuel cut, like 195. Like, stop looking after a while. You know what I mean?
Bro.
And you know what it taught me? Coming back down was the most dangerous.
Yeah, if you hit the brakes hard, or you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's bad. Most people think they're gonna do that, hit the brakes.
Right.
Nah, it's over after that. You got to come down slow.
So now to get into your profession, you are up and coming DJ in the city circuit. You are really up there though.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit. When was your love for music start?
When I was a kid, I think my mother had me playing the guitar at like 6 years, whatever first grade was. My mother had me playing the guitar, piano, a little bit of the drums.
Yes.
But I was young. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck this shit. I don't want to play this. I want to go hang out with my friends and ride dirt bikes.
Early.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So ever since that, I've always had like a love for music. I could always count beats, because if you can't count beats, you cannot DJ. You cannot do, I don't care. I know there's a sync button, but that's not DJing.
That's
you know what I mean?
not DJing.
That's like having a race car that's automatic.
Woo!
It's cheating. You know what I mean? You can't have a Mustang V8 that's auto.
First off, right, before we continue, could we please give him a round of applause for recognizing that auto is not what we do here at Rally Radio.
Nah.
We don't, listen, we don't condone that. We don't push it. If you got to drive your car to work every day in this auto, we kind of give you a pass. But how dare you buy an automatic Corvette or Porsche? You should be ashamed of yourself. I don't care what kind of transmission it comes with. So with that being said, right, Nikki? Now, so you got into the music at a relatively young age. Now when it comes to DJing, what's your most favorite part about it?
The rush, like when I'm on like the stage or in the booth, and like I know like it's up to me right now to like keep it going and keep it jumping. You know what I'm saying? That to me, that's like everything. Yeah. I like that. And then you keeping the party going, because if it's quiet, like it's not the same.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
See, when I turned the music off, it was like
yeah. I know.
So with that being said, we know you run into the freaks and all of that. I know this
the freaks, yeah, to say the least.
I know this club scene can get a little wild. But now in New York City, right? In New York City, what's some of the pitfalls of being a great DJ? Like what's the pitfalls that can happen in the game?
Pitfall, like a con?
Yeah.
You know, without sounding arrogant and cocky, like people don't want you to be with them. Like I've practiced for hours and hours and hours. And if you're good, they're not going to want you at the club. Because if you and me, let's say, going against the same spot, right. And you're better than me,
right.
Don't put him in here. Get him out of here. Don't book him as much.
Really?
There was a duo, and they sucked. And I mean, like, I don't know if you could make this echo. They sucked. But they would buy themselves out with tickets at Webster Hall, and I would literally shit on them every time in the basement and the upper deck when I would do my set. And they would tell everybody that they knew, don't put Nicky Cretella on. And it was a known fact. And I would tell them, like, why are you guys salty that I'm doing better than you? I said, you don't put me on because you know I am. And right. I hate to sound that, because it makes you sound like such a dick. Right. But like, I practiced for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to get like that. Right. And I taught myself because I want it so bad. Right. And I'm still that good. Right. And I can only say that because I've practiced for that long. So nobody wants to see you doing better than them, especially if they're going for the same shit that you are. Right. You know what I mean? So that's like the downfall of it, because DJing is politics. It's all who you know. I got in the Webster Hall from someone that I knew, but I killed it. That's what got me to stay. Same with Pasha. I knew them, but I killed it. That's what got me to stay. Electric Adventure in AC, anywhere else. You know what I mean? Even Gossip. Shout out to Gossip, the best strip club in the world. I love that place. You know? Shout out to Gossip. I want to DJ there again too, but it's not up to me. Otherwise, I'd be there every weekend. So those are some of the venues. So name some of the venues again, so people know some of the venues that you've played in that was like off the wall. Name some of the venues real quick. Again, I know you did, but just name it. Gossip. Gossip. I'll say it again. That was it. Webster Hall, Pasha, Electric Adventure was in the city. It was on the beach. It was a rave, but like just that whole vibe. Yeah. That's how I got this drunk tattoo from that. That was a story in itself. I forgot. I did this strip club in Queens recently. I forgot what it was in Astoria. It was a little ratchet, but you could tell like if it was popping like on a busy night, it would get good. Yeah. I did the whole Hofstra Strip when I was younger. Really? Dizzy's, McKeeb's, Social. I don't know what it is now. Social was 2 floors. Social was like open format, which I hate. Disgusting. What do you mean by that? Like, Don't Stop Believing. I run to the bathroom when that shit plays. I can't stand that. It's 12 o'clock, bro. What are you playing that for? Who wants to hear that? Not me. I literally go in the bathroom and hide. I don't want to hear that shit. It's disgusting. Right. It's garbage. With all the stuff that's out now with like Future, Tyga, whether it's EDM or Drake or whatever you got to play, you're playing that. Right. That song was fucking 40, 50 years old. You know what I mean? Yeah. This ain't no like grandma's backyard barbecue. You know what I'm saying? That's just, to me, that's like what really I can't deal with that. That's why I don't go to a lot of those places that play open format.
So now, right, as far as like the genre of music, you do EDM, right?
Yeah.
But you also versed in that reggaeton.
Yeah.
And you also versed in hip hop. Yes.
I love the Spanish shit, especially at the strip clubs or regular clubs. That's what really gets everybody dancing.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially the girls. You know? Because let's be honest, that's what guys are there for. I always tell everyone, guys do not go out to drink. You can get smashed in your room with a 12-pack and have a good time. Why do we go out to drink? Let's be real.
I mean, whew.
Very rare. We're like 1%. I mean, there's times where I go out and I do just want to go see my boys and drink and have fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just at that point. I don't even want to be bothered with a female right now. I don't care how hot, whatever. I don't want it right now. I don't need it.
Uh-oh, you know we're going into another lane.
I don't want to deal with that. But that's why the guys go out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When do you see a VIP section filled with girls? Damn. Just girls.
Just girls.
They don't want to pay for it, number one, because they never pay for shit.
Right.
When you go to VIP, everybody wants to go with the hot guy that's rich, or if he's ugly and rich with the bottles, they don't want to pay for Dom P or Ace of Spades. When have you seen that? Anybody?
I mean,
you got a cricket button?
I'll tell you what we do have, though. We do have, because he's dropping jewels right now. Continue
points. You know what I mean? But that's just what it is.
Shout out to my guy Draco. He said, not for nothing, don't stop believing gets the drunk girls hype.
Yeah, I guess like the white girls in college that are 18 years old, you know what I mean? But the Spanish girls are not going to dance to that. You know, he's right, though. He's got a point.
He got a point.
All depends where you're at. He ain't wrong.
Shout out to Draco. He said VIP equals drinks. So,
oh man,
I gotta say, right? So now, when it comes to the EDM, I know a lot of guys produce their song.
Yeah.
So you produce your music?
Yes.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. What's the equipment that you use to really get it down?
Just like Skrillex, bro. A laptop and a speaker, a KRK, that I've had since 2013. Still doesn't let me down.
Yes.
I've had that. That's really all you need. You know what I mean? What is that? An 8 octave, a 16? Mm-hmm. What's that you have over there? You have behind?
Oh, right there, over there.
Yeah, the keyboard.
That right there is called an Akai MPC Mini.
Yeah. See, those work too, but on whether you use Logic, your keyboard can turn to a
full keyboard.
Yeah, exactly, and you could just do that. And that was it. I just get like a loop, a drum, make a synth, build up all these rises and bullshit loops that I can find, and then get to work.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the process like for you? Like, how long does it take, really?
I've made songs in like a day or two, but that's like the whole day. Losing my mind, out, going crazy.
We got a caller here. Oh boy, I love it. This way gets spicy.
Who's this?
I don't know. Rally Radio, who we got in the box?
You know what it is? You know who it is?
Shout to my guy Draco. He tuned in early. Let's go. He like, yo, this interview is crazy.
No. What's up?
What's going on?
Yeah, I think you got a certified DJ there. I got couple of DJ questions to pick your brain.
Let's go.
I got a fraternity brother. He's a DJ, and what I want to know is, I don't know if it's still around, but there's like a forum for DJs where they pull music. Do you know about that? And is that really worth it rather than going to the store and pulling records?
Like, in other words, do they have like a group where they all like share their music, kind of? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, something like that.
To be honest,
like if you hear something hot, it'll be like 100 of them on this, like, I don't know what you call it, like a chat, and they're pulling music down. Or do you just go straight to, I hear it, I go get it?
That's it. I don't really fuck with DJs like that. There's very few friends. You know what I mean? I don't trust them. They don't like you most of the time. And like I said before, they just try and do their own thing. So I find it, I hear it. Even if I'm in the club, I'm not afraid. I'll Shazam my shit and I'll be like, this is a banger. You know what I mean? I need to play this when I play. I get it off Apple Music, BPM Supreme. Franchise Record Pool is a website that you pay for. I think that's gone. And Headliner Music Club. So that's what I used to get my music. But I don't go on the forums, bro. I really don't. I just like to get my own sound, my own music, and then I just find whatever's like going to be like a banger. Because I usually just have that. Like I have like the openers, but it's just bangers only, and I get it all on my own.
Early.
Also,
that'd be my best advice.
I hear now, I don't know if it's popular before, but now I see a lot of DJs, like they're podcasting their set. If you do it or if you know about it, what do they get out of that? Exposure?
Some, depending on what it is. Like if you have a certain amount of followers on TikTok, which is like 10,000,
right,
then you can stream.
Right.
Instagram, you can stream too. You can post. I mean, some people, they get paid on TikTok when you have like gifts and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as far as I'm concerned, it's just exposure that are people that are trying to stay a relative that fell off, or they're trying to come up to get into clubs and get exposure and gain a following. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But to me, it's like boring. It's like I'm practicing. I hate to practice, but you have to. That's what discipline. That's where the discipline comes in, to where you're gonna get good. Because if you don't practice, you suck. It's the truth. When are you good at something that you don't do a million times?
One more question.
Let's go.
Push button DJs. I argue with my homeboy all the time, and he says it's fine. I was like, yeah, but if all you do is push a button, he said, no, it's more than that. You got to know when to come in and da-da-da. I was like, I don't know, dude.
What do you mean push button?
What's your view on it?
What do you mean push button?
Like the
sync button
with the buttons.
The sync button?
He's talking about the sync button.
The sync button.
Dude, that's disgusting. Put that thing in the garbage. There's no such thing as a sync button with a DJ. Your ears are the sync button, bro.
He said that's like driving an automatic, Draco.
That's driving an automatic race car, Corvette, C8 Auto. Sync button. I don't even know why they have that. Is this thing on?
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean? Please. I feel like I'm talking too loud. That's disgusting. I hate when I see that. That's a fake DJ. Yeah. Just like the girls that post their tits on Instagram to get famous, that's even worse. For half of them use sync buttons, and that's tits over talent. They suck.
Yeah, I saw that. There was a female DJ. Apparently, she had a following when I went to Temptations, and all it was boobies. And she's pressing.
You know why? Their OnlyFans comes out and then comes onto the Instagram. That's what it is.
Yo, that is crazy.
Think about it. Whenever you see a woman DJ, what are they wearing? Close to nothing.
True.
It's tits out, ass out, BBL, all that bullshit, and they're going like this the whole time, like they're doing something. I do this in real life. I don't sit here and do this for 20 minutes like I'm doing something. They're just trying to make it look like they're doing shit.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, bro. When two songs are mixing, you got to kind of let them go and you fade them out a little bit. You're not fading shit out the whole time. You know what I mean? They're just putting up a front. Right. People that don't know that and don't see what goes on, they think, oh, wow, look at her. She's a DJ. First of all, you have to earn that title, number one. You have to earn that. People just buy a thing and say, I'm a DJ now. Where have you performed that's relevant? That's number one. Right. 2, are you good? 3, if you didn't have tits and ass out, would you still have this following? You know what I mean? If you DJ'd in the dark, would people still want to listen to what you play and how you play it? You know what I mean? There's a difference to it. Like, you have to play good shit and you have to make it all sound like one song, which most of them can't, which is why their tits are out.
Yo, Draco, this is probably as ruthless as it's ever got here at Rally Radio.
It has to be said.
Yeah, you're right.
I know I'm right, and thank you. Sorry. It's the truth.
With that being said, Draco, oh man.
What's up?
This is probably one of the most ruthless conversations we ever had up here. Like, we usually it's no holds barred today. Normally we don't do that, but it is what it is because we getting the truth out of my guy.
In that case, F Kia, F Hyundai.
Say it out loud. Let's go. Say it out loud. Say the whole word. It's okay, Draco, today. That's it.
Fuck Kia and fuck Hyundai.
All right, only today we wilding out. But I will shout to Zoom for Zoom. He said, I thought this was a family show. Nah, tuck the kids today. Tuck the kids. Shout to SP to Don. He said, this guy's going on my list of heroes. Probably somewhere under Kevin Samuels.
Yo, don't even get me started. My whole FYP is on Kevin Samuels and women. I've watched that guy late night all the time. I love him. That's the best.
Shout to B Durrs. He said, tell him his cuz says, child, please, 370Z. You the man.
Child, please.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Shout to everybody tuned in, paying attention. It's about to get a little raw up in here today.
Kevin Samuels, wow.
Yo, shout to Draco. Yo, Draco, you got any more questions you want to ask?
No, I'm pretty good. You know, it's raining, so I can't be out in the garage, so.
Yeah. But we appreciate you, you know what I mean? Because you tuned in and you rocking with us, man. So with that being said, Draco.
Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
One more thing.
Let's go.
Car show, y'all doing it this year or no?
Yes. Are you going with us April 19th? We're taking a run to the convention center in Jersey. That's going to be our next little run that we doing. We're going to get together. It starts at 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Jersey Convention Center. You rocking with us?
In the yard?
Yo, nah. Or if you got to jump in the passenger seat, it's fine.
Yeah, I'll be in the passenger seat.
Let's go.
That's a Saturday, right?
Yes. Next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, next Saturday.
Okay.
We trying to line up and do what we got to do. Shout to my guy Miller Tom NYC in the building. He said, "Yo, Webster Hall is still live."
I haven't been there in a while, bro. I mean, if I'm not DJing there, I don't see it being like that.
Don't get me started. I'm a little bit old, but my spot used to be the Sound Factory.
Pasha, which is what it was before. Pasha.
Oh,
The Sound Factory was Pasha before.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's still jumping?
Nah, Pasha's gone. I think the last time I was there was like 10 years ago. I think it's like apartment buildings now. It's sad. That was another like 4-story club like Webster. That place was a mess. I loved it though. Really? It was right by the Intrepid. It was over there close to, I think, Hell's Kitchen.
Chelsea
I forgot.
And all of that?
Yeah. Nah, Pasha was it. That was like running around with my shirt off, going eat out of my face. You know what I mean? I used to pick up bags off the floor and just lick them. I was disgusting. Nothing to be proud of. It's embarrassing, but that's just like. And now I don't even take Advil if I have a hangover because I don't want to mix. How that work? Crazy.
Yo, Draco.
It's the truth.
Yo, Draco. I will say this, man. It was shout to my guy Shadow Gamer. He tuned in too. He said it was insane. He said 4 levels of madness.
Bro, crazy. The girls there were crazy. The music was actually good. You know what I mean?
Mars.
So was the ecstasy.
Mars was on the West Side Highway.
What's that? Mars 2112 you talking about?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember that place. I used to be scared as a kid going in there.
Yo, kid, I can't front. Even I had a couple dusty nights in there where I got into a couple fist fights in the bathroom and had to get out of there.
Mars 2112 was a club?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Mars 2112. Draco, we talking about the same club over there by Broadway?
The one that was across the street from this little triangle hotel.
Yeah. I got
it. Yeah.
In my younger
I used to know a girl. Her job was to whip dudes when they were coming up the stairs. It was multi-level. Had reggae on top, house in the middle, hip hop on the bottom. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, her job was what again? To whip people.
She had a whip, and in the landing going up to the top floor, she'd be whipping dudes.
Wow.
That's great. I never saw that. Mars 2112 was a restaurant, as far as I know.
So
that was way back. I was a kid. I was like 6 years old. I think it was going downstairs, and they put you in some fake ass spaceship that shakes around and gets you nauseous before you go eat. I never understood that. And then you go into this place that looks like Mars with rocks, and there's aliens walking around. Trippy. It's like a bad acid trip trying to eat dinner.
Oh yeah.
Now it used to be a club. It was one over there on Broadway, and I can't front. It used to go down in there though. It was nice. It had a nice vibe when I was younger. You know what I mean? But,
when a dance was just a dance.
Right.
Yeah.
Or better yet, you used to go to the bar and they ain't try to rape your pockets. They was like, yo, you know what? Yo, this drink is $35. You like, God damn.
Dude, that's what they go for now. It's disgusting.
Word. Shout to Jessica Grant. She said Mars 2112. Yeah, that's what it was. Shout to Zone for Zone. Shout to Jessica Grandy. She said, yo, peace pop the bearded one. You already know what it is. She said Mars 2112. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right there. Yo, I gotta say, Draco, we got, I said, today is no holds barred. We got Nicky Cretella in the building. He's connected right now. You gotta listen. We gonna say what we gotta say. You know what I'm saying?
You right. You right.
Any more questions? You good?
No, I'm good. I don't hog the time.
You do.
All right, bro. Make sure he throws out that sync button set, whatever he's got. No real DJ uses sync buttons. Listen, it's only gonna help him out. I'm only looking out. So
yeah.
You're never gonna get good that way. You're just gonna continue to suck.
Yo, that's it. Yo, Draco, with that being said, we appreciate you for calling up. You already know what it is, man. Draco family, man. You already know what it is. Yo, we gonna get up with you. We gonna get back to the interview, but thank you for calling up. You already know what it is.
All right, gentlemen.
Peace. Nigga, you a funny guy. You
a character, bro.
So with that being said, right? did the bike life and the DJ life, because that's a young man's game you talking about right there. And I see you over there. You got the little fade, beard, all that. I know they be in your face a little bit. And for those that don't know, if you don't follow him on Instagram, he be in the gym hard, picking up weights, all that, throwing up weights. But now, did that intersect with one another, or was that really a problem? Did it fit the lifestyle, the motorcycling with the DJing? I could imagine.
Probably made everything worse for me, because every time I go out, every girl says I'm a player or you look like a fuckboy. And I get it. I look like it. I do the things that they do. But like deep down, my phone is dry as sand and I'm home. You know what I mean? I go home by myself. So does it affect each other? I mean, it affects certain things, but not really. It's just impossible to get DJ equipment to the club if you're on the bike.
Right.
That's like the only bad thing I can think about with those mixing. Unless I'm just throwing my laptop in the backpack, then that's it. So, which hopefully I'll be a gossip this summer. I want to DJ there, and I'll just do that. Bring my laptop, my backpack, and ride my bike.
Early. We got to make sure we get them on Balls and Hoops Radio, y'all. Don't forget, www.ballsandhoopsradio.com. We got to make sure that my guy, Nicky Cretella, plays a set, because now we interested, right? We like this. We already know how he get down. We heard what he said. Shout out to my guy, Militime NYC. He said he has a secondary career as a DJ version of Bernie Mac. As either, in other words, saying you might be able to get away with some stand-up, because I'm cracking up over here.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Wow.
So
that was
now,
a good one.
We're going to talk a little bit, because my guy is an avid hot sauce connoisseur. And that's something that a lot of people probably don't know about you. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Nah, so hot sauce, I've always loved it, right? And I think like a few years ago, I got like a gift. It's like a DIY Amazon kit.
Early.
Right? And work was slow. So I'm like, let me just try and hustle to make a little bit extra money. So with my creative, impulsive ideas, which sometimes is bad, sometimes is good, off the jump, I went home with nothing to do. I had a girlfriend at the time, so I was not outside at all. I was inside with Gio. And I just started making it. And these recipes that they gave me, it sucked. So I'm like, this tastes like shit. It's disgusting. It's whatever. So I'm like, get it out of here. I don't want it. So I came up with my own stuff. Long story short, I got it like 2 days before Christmas. By February, I sold like 600 bottles before I even got to like a farmer's market. And then I just blew it from there. I had like 1,500 real followers on that Instagram. And I was just marketing it, not even knowing how, just thinking what would look cool and promoting it and doing it good. And all my shit is organic. There's no fillers. There's no nothing. It's just vinegar and salt is the only preservatives. And it's good. One of them, the Reaper, which like a Stunat, I forgot to bring it, but I'm going to send you a bunch. It's pineapples, Carolina Reapers, organic sugar, and like a little bit of water. That's all that's in there. So it'll be good forever. You know what I mean? Right. And it separates too. It's no bullshit. I got it approved by the state. Everything's all legit. Like I was on the phone with Cornell every day to get it approved. Like you have to send it up to the lab. You have to make it. It has to be a certain pH. So it's like a science project in a bottle that no one tells you how to do. You just kind of got to trip over your own feet to get it going.
Yo, I'm going to tell you this. I've never heard of anybody, but there's brands. I never met anybody that makes their own hot sauce. And I got to say, it's tremendous. Shout to my guy, David. Tuned in early. He said, nephew spitting fire. Let's go, Nicky. Uncle Dave got his ears on. You heard me?
Uncle Dave.
Shout out to my boy, Uncle Dave. One more time, man. Let's go.
Uncle Dave.
He's tuned in. And shout out to Draco. He said 1320. That's the guy that's on the phone.
Yeah.
He said, to the bikers, what's the opinion of the guys that film themselves doing 120 through traffic?
I mean, to me to post that, if I ever was to do that,
we come out of Mexico.
I feel like that's because they're on there.
Yes,
they're on IG. That's why Brian 636 doesn't show his face.
Yes,
Jixer Bra, all those other guys, they don't show their face. They don't show that. They don't do that. What's the guy? Squeeze Benz, the kid in the city, who just got clipped.
He got clipped.
Okay, exactly. Do I think it's cool or to do that? No. I think if you're going to do it and enjoy it in the moment and don't do it for clout on Instagram. You know what I mean? Because you're only going to get burnt. Maybe you won't, but I ain't trying to take that risk with them to be like, yo, what's this? It's going to be a hard time saying I don't know what that is when it's everything matches. And I got all these tattoos and shit too. So if I was to do that, I'd have to wear gloves. I'd have to wear, you know what I mean? Because it's going to be hard to say that someone else has these same tattoos, same bike, riding in the same neighborhood that I'm riding in. I would never do that.
Nicky. Shout to Nicky Cretella, son. He making it hot in here today. You already know what it is. So now with the hot sauce.
That's my slogan, by the way. It's hot. It's hot in here. Literally. You get it? In the bottle, it's hot in here. Swear to God. I made that up by myself, not Nelly.
So now let's get that hot sauce thing is actually interesting. I didn't know you was that deep.
Bro,
I didn't know you that deep.
The only reason why I took a hiatus is because I don't have like 30 grand to throw into the stores. That's the next step. That's what I'm still trying to figure. I have this one guy who just gives me the runaround. He's got a meal distribution system all Long Island. I don't want to say his name, but he'll always hit me up and I want to get it. And when I give him prices, he's not into it.
Right.
They told me that they get like what's it called? This barbecue Sweet Baby Ray's.
Yeah.
They get like a gallon for like $30.
Yeah.
Right? But that's bullshit. That's mass production. They could take that L. I can't.
Right.
I'm small. My shit's also organic and there's like real shit and I go pick it out myself, make it in the commercial kitchen. I can't do $30 a gallon. If I was, it's probably going to be somewhere around maybe 180, 200.
Right.
Because in 1 gallon, there's 5 fluid ounces, I believe. Or there's roughly 26 fluid ounces in a gallon.
Yes.
So in order to make money on profit, I'm buying top tier organic shit. I have to have a certain price.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? So that's why we haven't worked out a deal yet. But he just gave me the runaround.
So do you get that a lot? Like when so does that like let's say that and DJing, right? Do you get that a lot? Like people think, yo, you should do this for free and X, Y, and Z. It's like they don't want to pay you for your own time. Is that
some friend? We should put the kids to bed. Sorry,
but yo, it's out to SP the dog. My guy SP the dog too big.
I'm sorry. I told him I was gonna say whatever when I got on here.
He said it. He told me.
Because otherwise there's no point. But a lot of friends, they do want shit for free, which I just don't understand. Like, maybe I'll throw a bottle here and there, but like not every time, bro. You know what I mean? Like if you like my boy Deco, he cuts hair mad good.
Right.
He's a little too expensive for me.
Right.
I'm not going there because fuck him. I just can't afford it.
Right.
And I'm not going to slander him and disrespect his craft because can you give me a deal?
Right.
I just don't go to him.
Right.
When I can afford the bread that he charges for a cut, I will go.
Right.
Which I haven't, but my Dominican guys cut hair good for, $20-$30, whatever it is. And that's it. $100 a haircut or whatever it is, a little deep to go every week. You know what I mean? I'm not Rockefeller. I don't have money like that.
Shout out to my guy Draco. He said, Suki being the first sponsor for the CRX. Put a hot sauce stick on the hood. Listen, you got one. We would love to put that around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got your logo.
Yeah.
Yo, first and foremost, shout out to my guy Nicky Cretella. He in here keeping it a buck right now. I love that. So now, what would you say as far as when it comes to running your own business? Because obviously that's where you was. Now you still there, like you running your own business. What would you say? There's gatekeepers. There's people that's like, yo, you know what? Nah, if he don't pay the fee, he can't get in. What's your thoughts on people like that?
Gatekeeping as far as what? Like with the hot sauce or DJing?
Yeah, like just the hot sauce, even DJing, because I know you run into the gatekeepers and DJing.
Yeah, I don't fuck with a lot of them. And I know for some reason, I'm not going to say where it was. I played at one place one time, and I was better than the main guy, and they don't want me on there. And he's old as fuck, and he really just plays bullshit. And they were coming up to me saying, yo, you play fire music. You've been real good. When you coming back? Why would he want that? That's why they don't put me on. But as far as the hot sauce, like gatekeeping, like the only thing I can't say, like legally, I have to tell you what's in there. That's why I asked you allergic to anything. Right. To give the exact measurements, that's the only thing I have to gatekeep.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because then someone can turn around and want to do the same shit. All my stuff's written down. It's not even in my phone. So God forbid phone got lost or phone got hacked. You know what I mean? Because it took hours to your tongue's on fire trying to make sure what measures right, what's good, what's that. After you get high off of that shit. Seriously, your body starts to release endorphins because it thinks you like broke an arm. If you have too much capsaicin, which is the chemical in the peppers, and you get fucked up. So it was too much work to give anybody like the recipe.
So I would say this, right? When it comes down, obviously, like the hot sauce thing, I'm actually intrigued. Shout out to everybody who's tuned in, paying attention. Do you have anywhere where they can access that, though? Like, where we could get our hands on that?
I had a store, but it wasn't able to be shipped. It all was through DM because legally, you cannot. I'll get fucked. Yeah. So that's why I do not play with that. I do want no problems with. I got enough. You know what I mean? Like that's why. I don't need more shit on my plate right now. So I had a website that I had, but people just DM because it's easier. But I've shipped to, and I have receipts for all this: Germany, Cali, Florida, Alabama, North Carolina, Canada, and I think some other state, and like obviously all Long Island, and I did farmers markets. I sold out just about every time, unless I brought like 100 bottles.
Right.
I was trying to up myself too much,
Right,
but I
right.
usually sold out every single time I was at the farmers market.
Damn.
Yeah, and I still have people to this day that hit me. And my boy Frankie bought 5 bottles of the Reaper the other day. You know what I mean? Because he's been asking for a while. So just recently, I started to push back out onto it.
Shout out to my guy,
you know what I mean?
Frankie. I see Frankie be copping.
Yeah,
I appreciate
Frankie.
That's a
bought,
friend.
Yeah.
That's a friend. Shout out to Frankie.
Frankie bought a lot.
Let's
He's
go.
my number one customer, honestly, from the Reaper.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, when you came up with these names, right? Why do we associate high sauce with death?
Well, like, you know what? Because the Carolina Reaper is the hottest pepper right now in the world.
Is it?
Right? It's like 1.5 million
Oh, the Kelvin?
Scoville, yeah. So Scoville is like the measurement of heat, just like you have amps with electricity or volts. So that's the name of the business, Scoville City. That's the name of my business, but the slogan is hot in here.
Okay.
So Reaper was just something that sounded, it just straight to the point.
Sounds crazy.
You know what I mean? And it's got like this amber color with like like red specks of the pepper.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
God.
Yeah. But most people do it to death because half the time your mouth's on fire, you want to die, you're sweating, you get the sweats, you sniffle. You know what I mean? But if anybody has that problem, peanut butter is probably the number one thing that helps with that. No joke.
I did not know that.
Peanut butter. Unless you're
Peanut
allergic,
butter
then you're
being-
fucked.
Really?
Yeah. straight
So
up.
peanut butter cools your tongue off?
Peanut
or-
butter, yeah.
That's-
Peanut butter, some milk, but mostly peanut butter is what takes it away.
Yo,
Drinking
this
water just swishes it around and makes it worse.
makes it worse.
Especially if it's room temp. So don't do that.
Yo, you know how many times I didn't drink? I was like, yo, just give me something to drink.
Yeah.
I keep it a buck with you, right? One time I went to Jamaica, right? I was in Jamaica and they gave us like, we went to like this jerk hut before we went to the hotel.
Yeah.
And I mean, whatever jerk sauce pause that they put on this chicken, pause. I know that was crazy.
Yeah.
But whatever they put on there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was so crazy. I was like, yo, my mouth is on fire.
Yeah.
Yo, they straight up gave me ketchup. They was like, yo, here, boom, tomato, like a tomato paste kind of ketchup.
Yeah.
He said, hey, he gave it to me. I drank it. Boom, I was good.
Yeah.
Yo, hilarious side note. He was like, tip, like, give me money. Like, I was like, yo, bro.
To save your life.
I was like, yo, don't eat yellow snow. That's your tip. B. I don't know what to tell you. Yo, shout to Nicky Cretella. With that being said, right, there's a lot of things going on right now. And like I said, just to switch over a little bit, back to the bikes, right? Now, there was a recent incident. We had an incident, whatever, where you had a guy lose his life. His name was Bills. I don't know if you've seen it on the
Queens.
internet. Yeah.
I did see that, bro. That was sad where it looked like the guy ran him over. Yeah, that was fucked up.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Do you run into that kind of energy when you out there doing what you do?
I've definitely only twice have I ever smashed mirrors off, and it was well deserved.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because there are some people that will try to run you over. I guess you just got to feel it out. You know what I mean? I do run into that stuff though a lot of the time. Some people sometimes don't just look. You know what I mean? You want to do more when you pull up to them at the red light, but you got to just
try to curb yourself.
Yeah, you got to think.
So I can't front. I took a mirror off or two. But you know what I mean? Like, my thing is, and even when I saw the incident, first and foremost, rest in peace to Bills.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Man.
Rest in peace to him. Sad. I hate to see stuff like that. And fam was saying how he was like white lining and riding crazy. And then when the Ring video came out, because somebody live across the street.
Yeah.
When the Ring video came out and they see that he just drove right over this dude. And I was posting it in the group for those that don't know. I was posting it in the group or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, and the bike blew up.
Yeah. Didn't the car go up in the air too?
Yeah, he went over.
He launched her.
Damn, that shit is crazy.
That looked intentional to me.
Yeah, hell yeah, that was intentional.
That looked intentional to me.
And not only that, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Oh, from what I know, Bills he was 55. You don't really see too many 55-year-old cats visiting Mexico, right or wrong?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, because when you fall off that bike, it ain't no tickle at that age. You know what I mean?
Definitely not.
I'm out for some weeks.
Definitely not. Yeah, especially I've never fell on the asphalt, thank God. But
so let's get into that a little bit.
I've never crashed.
Never?
I don't know how. When I was like 15 years old, I broke my right foot on a CR125. I was in like fourth gear, pinned around a turn, young, just trying to show off or whatever stupid girls were at in the woods.
This guy,
and
Nicky, son.
I I came out into like a quad rut.
Yeah.
Because it rained. It was like right before school started. Like the second 2 days before school started. And I went through a quad rut and I slammed into a tree where it my foot flew back and almost hit me in the back of the head. I flew off.
The spider. That's what we call that.
Bro, the bike was screaming, 2-stroke, the throttle got stuck. And I was like walking around. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, my foot was feeling tight. It was so bad. I had to take my shoe off. My foot like blew up. I hopped around for 2 days. My dad was going to beat my ass if he found out what happened. So I told him I fell out of a tree playing manhunt. And when we went to the hospital, the doctor was like, yo, you did not fall out of a tree. What happened? And I was like, I hit a tree. And he was like, what? And I was like, a dirt bike. So I had these little stupid like DC shoes on back then, whatever I thought was like cool at the time. And that's what fucked me up. So that was the only time I've ever like gotten hurt. But other than that, I've never ever fell down on the bike.
Shout out to Draco. He said manhunt.
Manhunt? Yeah, manhunt. That's how I'm showing my age, I guess.
Yeah. Shout out to Jessica Grandy. She said, yo, y'all gotta be careful.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what, at the end of the day, I will say this, and that's why it's always refreshing to talk to a fellow rider. You know what I mean? Because there's times where being careful gets you hurt. There's time, to me, in my opinion, I always said this. The reason I love my motorcycle, right, my GSXR, is because if I'm in the jam, it's enough power for me to get out.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
100%. That's why I say always ride at like a high RPM. Like if I'm always looking around when I'm riding, it's not for the cops.
Right.
It's to make sure no jerk off is going to hit me or someone's paying attention. And if I'm crossing a turn or an intersection, I want to get out of that. Yeah. Because you know how fast it can happen because I've seen it on Instagram and TikTok all the time. I can't afford to get hit financially and physically. So I don't want to deal with that shit. You know what I mean?
Yo, Draco, you gotta stop. Shout out to my guy Dorian Toten. You already know what it is. That's my dude right there. He said, what do you do that others don't do that may be keeping you safer?
You ever like see like people have like the shirt, you hesitate, you die? I was definitely 1000% more wild when I was younger. I still am, but not like on the level I used to be.
Yeah.
And I used to think that I would never fall. I would never get hurt. I was like invincible.
Right.
And I feel like that is what gave me the confidence to,
do what you do.
To do what I had to do in that moment. And I feel like that's what it was. So if you're not confident in riding, number one, you should not be riding in the street because that's the worst place to ride ever. You know what I'm saying? Street bike, anything. Dirt bike, quad, even if it's just like down the street because you got all of the cars. But you have to be confident and realistically just have to have the balls to do it.
Early.
You know
so
what I mean?
you would say it's more a machismo thing. Like it's a more belief in your mind.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been riding for a long time also. So I feel like just with the experience on like dirt bikes, quads, and all the street bikes, I feel safer on a bike than a car. I feel so more in tune like with myself and everything.
Yes.
On a bike.
Shout to my listen.
You know?
Shout to my guy Dorian. You already know what it is. Shout to my guy because Dorian is like 6'3". Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, I think Dorian was 6'2", 6'1". He's tall. He's taller than me. But I will say this, right? I tell cats all the time. When somebody say, yo, be safe, I'll be like, stay dangerous.
Yeah.
You know why? Because when you're dangerous, people don't mess with you.
Yeah.
When you're safe, people will test you.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's the same thing with motorcycle riding. At the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, believe in your skills and what you do, you're going to have a real problem out there. Shout to my guy Tiny, tuned in. Let's go. Shout to my guy Tiny. Shout to my guy Miller Tom NYC. He said, that's why I'm in my truck. Straight confidence. Yo, Nicky, you got people out here believing.
Bro, it's just how it is. You know
Let's
what I mean?
go.
It's just how it's got to be. Because I feel like if you're not riding like that, something's going to happen. When you're riding around slow or you're taking turns slow, like I see people, that's why I only got one mirror, but I always be looking in it in the back if I'm on the shoulder because I know people just cut it off. Some people don't look. This one kid, one time I was riding with him, sucked, did it for Instagram, did not know how to ride. Kid was like 5'2",
We've done it.
Just a fronter on Instagram, just got the bike to post. He got into more accidents than anybody I ever know and within a year's span. Hospital. He had his girl in the back. But one time we're riding, and I don't know how fast we were going.
Right.
But it was
in Mexico.
Yeah, it was probably a little fast, and he didn't even look, and he just cut into the different lane where I was super close. And luckily, it was a 3-lane. Otherwise, I would have been off the road. There's stupid shit like that, riding with stupid people that don't know how to ride and don't know what they're doing. That's why I don't like to ride in like packs. I really only ride with like maybe the same 2 people That's it. Plus, everyone's married now and has kids. Nobody even rides like that. But like, it's really the only 2 people right now I ride with that are like that I've been riding with for a while, and like I kind of know like what they'll do or where I'll be at.
Right.
Because it's shady when you ride in packs. You don't know who's who's new,
right,
who can control it, who's fucked up or not.
Right. And not for nothing, when you get the new cats, from what I've seen, when you ride with new cats, they trying to keep up with you.
Yeah.
And it's like now they up there and they don't know what to do when they up there. Yeah. And I tell and a lot of cats are asking, yo, how do I go from new to where you at? I said, son, it's a lot of nights I took that bike out dolo.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times I took turns and I was like, yo, you know what? Cats ain't gonna find me if I mess up on this. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's exactly, I tell a lot of cats, man, when it come down to motorcycle riding, yeah, you're gonna spend a lot of time in the pack, but you gotta spend more time by yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta know what kind of rider you really are. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. You gotta get comfortable with the bike too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the first week, like no matter how long I've been riding, I'm never like 100% on it. Like until I actually get on it and hit the gas and take the turns and see what's good with it. You know what I'm saying? Like until like then I feel good. Then I'll pop off and do what I got to do and ride around.
So with that being said, when the last time you really scared yourself? Woo!
Wow. I mean, scared myself.
Like when you was like, oh-ish, it's going down.
I want to say like maybe a year or 2 ago, I had a CBR 600 and white lining. And
in Mexico,
it was green, but someone blew the left turn light on the other side, and I came so close. I didn't even go behind them. I was in front of them, where I was so close. I was able to see if they had glasses on. You know what I mean? That's how one of my friends actually got in a really bad accident and almost lost his life. My boy Joe. The same thing happened to him, but he was, I don't know what he was. I think he was doing like a wheelie going like 70.
Right.
But either way, like that was the one time where I was like, yo, you get immediately driven. My heart like stopped and then pumped fast. I knew.
Wow.
Like that was close. That's probably the only time.
Whoa. Shout out to my guy Draco. He tuned in now. Draco tuned in now. He said,
I like Draco.
He said you talking about packs. He said, now that we hit the MC part of the chat, what's your experience with clubs?
I've never been in a club. I've just, like I've said, I've only ridden street bikes. And from what I know, most clubs don't, not that they don't accept it, but they're just not common. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I also just...
Stay to yourself.
Yeah, because I just stay to myself.
I hear you.
If I see him, what's up? I'll show respect always, especially the right ones. And then that's it.
Have you ever had a situation where they ride up on you like, yo, you shouldn't be passing us like that or some crazy ish like that?
I've always been told not to. So it depends on the patch, if you get what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
There's probably 2 patches that I would not pass in the pack.
Okay.
And then everyone else, I mean, I'm not passing them like I'm coming right by them.
Right.
If they're in the HOV or the left lane, I'm going about my business.
Right.
But there's probably a few patches that just because I wouldn't want to know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That I wouldn't pass.
I hear that. I will say this: when I was dropping out of the circuit, because I was at one point in the motorcycle club, all that. You know what I mean? When I dropped out of the circuit, it was a point where the 1% clubs was muscling the rest of the clubs.
Yeah.
So they was walking up, yo, you know, you part of this club now, and because you part of this club, you got to pay dues.
Yeah.
So that's extortion. They extorting that. So at that point, I was like, yo, you feel like my thing is, I was more or less like, if I gotta go with something like that, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do my dirt by my lonely. It is what it is. Somebody try to extort me as one-on-one. I'm doing what I do. You know what I mean? So it definitely was experiencing that out there. Shout out to my guy Nicky. He's really preaching it. You know what I mean? So with that being said, now that we've reached that point in the show, right? When it came down to stunting in Mexico, what's your favorite part about that though? Like, I can't front me. I could catch a wheelie or 2. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just more afraid of dropping the bike.
That's with me too. Like, I'm not gonna sit in here and lie. Like, I cannot wheelie a street bike like I can wheelie a quad. It's just I'm always afraid to drop it because then, you know what I mean? Like, it's the fixing it.
Right.
When I had a stunt bike, I was pretty good on that.
Yeah.
But when it's a regular like street bikes, they're not easy to wheelie. At least for me. You know what I'm saying? Like the quads all day.
Yeah. So what makes it easy in your opinion? Like I
mean, there's no left and right. You know what I mean? On a quad, it's just straight up back brake, or if you're, you're ballsy on the grab bar, not the grab bar, whatever. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the bar in the back.
Utility bar, whatever they got back there.
Yeah, but my one friend had like a quad that was like had like a handbrake. So that's the red one on my Instagram.
Yeah.
So that one's super. That was like a stunt quad pretty much. That one was so easy to wheel. I love that thing.
Early.
Yeah. That was that big one on the patch of grass.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was in Mexico also.
If y'all get a chance, don't forget, follow my man, Nicky Cretella, man. Follow him. I'm telling you. So a couple other things we want to talk about. One, your love for animals.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I love dogs. Like, that's my number one thing. You know what I mean? Rest in peace, my boy Gio. Like I told you, I had to get him tatted. That was my dog. TikTok famous.
Yes.
You know what I mean? One day I was just recording him randomly, and he took out the Christmas tree. And I was like, whatever. Like, I'll post it so I don't lose it. So it's on TikTok forever.
Right.
It blew up overnight. It was my Instagram.
Right.
30 followers. And then this guy gets like 20, 25. It got up to 25K.
Well, when he reposted it?
When I posted that on my thing, it blew up overnight. And then eventually we had a following. Like, if you look at it, I'll show you. He's got millions of views, millions of likes, stuff like that. So
really?
Yeah, he really popped off from the tree. I think his like highest video was like 5 or 4.6 million, something like that.
What?
Yeah.
And I can't front. I saw this video, so I was looking at it.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. Now, mind you, I got my own little dog. I got Shout the Titan, my little miniature English bulldog. And I mean, they definitely are, like, to me, humans inside of a dog body. Like, there's times when he's looking at me and I can tell exactly what's wrong with him.
I know, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's times where I look at him and I have no idea.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at that point, right? Gio being, how old was Gio?
Gio was a lot when I first got him. I originally got him for a girl I was dating, and she wasn't allowed to take him home. So he became mine.
Okay.
So we drove all the way to get him, and then eventually I was going to give him to her.
Yeah.
But she's like, I just can't take him home, so he became mine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the most we ever spent apart from each other was like one night, like throughout the whole time that I've had him.
Yes.
So, but he was a lot. He had a lot of separation anxiety. Good guard dog though. He was always down to fight, whatever was at the door or out. You know what I mean? He had balls, literally. He wasn't cut. I would never chop a male. You know what I mean? But Gio was always down to fight no matter what. So I miss that about him. Hopefully I get that in the next dog, but he was something else.
I always say that too. Like, right now, I took my dog to the vet, take him yearly or whatever. And they was like, oh, have you ever thought about, like, neutering him, man? I'm like, no. Like, why would I want to do that?
Bro, nah.
So she's like, oh, it stops him from getting cancer. I'm like, well, what's the percentage of him getting cancer with his balls off? Like,
I know.
And she was like 1%. I said,
yeah, nah.
I'm gonna take his nuts for that,
bro. It's not. It's taking away your manhood.
Come on.
You know what I mean? And it gives a little character. You know what I mean? Walking around like that. You know what I mean? I just let your nuts hang. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. I can't. You know what I mean? It's a dog. That's how it's meant to be. The females, I can kind of understand because they're gonna be bleeding all over the place.
Right.
But even then, I mean, just leave the dog be, bro. You know what I mean?
Be.
The next one I get, I'm not doing it, but it's gonna be a male. It's not gonna be a female. You know what I'm saying?
What's the one thing you want people to know about Nicky Cretella that they don't know? What's that one thing where you like that secret you've been hiding? Now, I mean, nothing crazy. You ain't got to dive deep. We was talking before the show.
I'll try to keep it G because I've been a little R this whole time from the comments. I mean, honestly, like, I'm not as scary as I look. A lot of people sometimes, I don't know how I'm just very quiet. I have like a male RBF. They say I'm a little bit intimidating. I'm just chill. I just don't like to be bothered. An introvert type thing. Like, I've only have a few select friends.
Right.
I'm definitely not a fuck boy. I look like one. Girls tell me all the time, you look like a player. I was actually at my favorite club a few weeks ago.
You're a
and
DJ.
Exactly. DJ, street bike, tattoos, faded beard. You know what I mean? At the gym, it's just like, I get it. I see where they're coming from. But like, once you get to know me, all my girlfriends, then they'll be like, wow. Otherwise, why would they stay with me for so long?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All my relationships have been like 4 years each.
Right?
Yeah, I've had two 4 years. So, but I get like the player thing the most, and I'm really not. I tell girls all the time, I cannot juggle oranges. What makes you think I could juggle 3 of you? You get what I'm saying? It's a lot of work. Have you ever tried to because I've tried it. I've tried to talk to girls multiple times. It don't work. It's not my thing, bro. It's really not. I can't.
Got a lot going on.
You gotta take them out. First of all, you only really got Friday, Saturday, maybe a Thursday.
Yes, that's
so
right.
really max is 3. How much money you got to spend on them for what? You know what I mean? To get laid? Big deal. Get over it. Stupid.
Shout to Frankie. It looked like Frankie tuned in. Is that the same Frankie?
Yeah, that's the hot sauce Frankie with the
Frankie Marchese. Shout to my guy. His profile pic looks like he did a couple years in the pen. Shout to Frankie. Shout to Frankie. He looked like he knocked somebody out crazy. You already know what it is. Shout to Frankie. He's in the building. We appreciate him for tuning in. So with that being said, man, has it been hard to find a love life as being a DJ with a motorcycle? And
Yeah.
Really?
I kind of gave up DJing for a little bit when I was in a relationship because 1, it's hard.
Okay.
2, it's all who you know, but it's really hard to tell a girl like what you're going to be doing because every girl has like trauma.
Right.
You know what I mean? But right now I'm just to myself. I don't want to be bothered. You know what I mean? Even if I wasn't DJing, which, you know what I mean? I'm really not right now. It's kind of like on hiatus until I get the next gig.
Uh-huh.
It's just so much less stress because I hate hearing you're a player. It's like annoying.
Yes.
Come up with something new.
Yes.
That's like a guy telling the girl you look beautiful. Like how many times have they heard that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Unless she's really off the hook, then you like this.
Yeah.
You know what I gotta say.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Shout to my guy. He said it's like you said, confidence. He said the worse you are to them, the better they treat you until you marry them. Then
I mean, the girls that like I'm not interested and I don't answer, unfortunately, are the ones that will blow me up and want to hang out. But the ones that I am interested in and show interest in, leave me undelivered. They don't even open that shit. It's retarded. Remember the Albanian girl I told you I was talking to at the club?
Uh-huh.
In love with her. Beautiful, right? But we sat down. I haven't seen her in months. And she's like, I don't answer you because you look like a player.
Wow.
You just judged me. You know what I mean?
She judged you.
Yeah, all the time.
He said, shout the door. He said, use that F-boy to your advantage. In other words, like
some girls it works, but some it's just like no answers, no time of day. You know what I mean? The best is when they won't hit me back, but they'll like my story. Oh, that fucking drives me nuts. Nuts.
They all over your social media.
I can't stand it. Or they'll send me a meme. It's like, what happened to the convo we had last week? You forget about that? Like,
wow.
you know what I mean? It's games, bro. So I got no time for that shit. None.
So
I don't know what the time it is. I'm about to be 32. How much I got left to be good looking and be in shape? 20 at best. If that's being nice.
That's the Italian genes right there.
Yeah, I mean, luckily.
Every Italian dude that I know, shout to you. You know what I'm saying? But then all of them I know, they be real brash. Like I know some older cats at my jobs or whatever. They be 50, and they still be like, no, I gotta look good for the female. They got the chains on and all
bro.
that. So is that how I get down for y'all?
Yeah,
like,
that's how it is, bro. Everything, always, bro. Come on, I'm from Brooklyn and Staten Island. I'm actually real Italian. Not like a lot of these fake guys on Instagram. They got like, come on, bro. Their last name is like Smith or Johnson. They're claiming Italian because they got 20%. My whole family's from Sicily, bro.
Yo, this guy Nicky.
Don't play, bro. Ti dico cosa fare. You know what that means? Like, I'll tell you what to do.
Early.
Yeah. No one can even speak it, let alone even like claim that they are.
Right.
It's very rare that you see like a 100% Italian person in real life.
So let me ask you a question. Jersey Shore, right?
Oh, bro, I auditioned for that, bro. Don't even get me started. I'm about to open up.
You should have got on.
I cannot stand Vinny. First of all, he looks Chinese. He's a mommy's boy. Nothing against Chinese people.
Right.
But you can't come at me and say you're a Guido.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when he first started, his idea of their GTO was like pool, like at the pool, playing pool and sitting inside. That's not Guido shit. I have VHS tapes in real life going to I think my mom is watching this right now. It was Joey Harrison Surf Club in Ortley Beach. Yes. That was the Neptunes on Long Island in Seaside, or Ortley Beach it was.
Yes.
I've been going there since I'm a year old. Seaside is nothing new. So when I saw this show, it's like, okay, cool. Like they had a show about this, like we lived this in real life.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's nothing new to me. And half those people on the show weren't even fully Italian.
Right. Like what's the name? Ronnie.
Ronnie was Puerto Rican in town. He was from the Bronx. I fuck with Ronnie. Paulie, you know, he was Italian. Vinny was Italian, but he wasn't like Guido.
Right.
I used to have a blowout. You can ask about me, bro. I've been Italian before it was cool. Before it was a trend. 100%. I've always been about being a Guido. It's like been my way of life forever. Everyone that knows me will tell you that's one thing they cannot say that I've capped or lied about being like that. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Shout to my guy David. He said these hoes ain't loyal. 2025, the year to stack paper.
Exactly.
I hear that loud and clear. So even when I watch, I can't front. When I saw Ronnie knock fam out like the first episode, I was like, oh, he's for real.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, knocked him out.
Like I
one
deserved
shot.
it. He was coming up talking shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You keep chasing.
Yeah,
It's one thing. I even get that to this day where they want to talk and say, bro, there's so many girls here. You either fight because you're ugly or you can't get girls. In my eyes, people that go out to fight like that, just have a good time, bro. Why are you here? Go home. I don't want that shit.
They ended up arresting him that episode, too.
He knocked him out cold because he didn't touch him.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's because I always thought if you get knocked out in the street like that, it's aggravated assault, but they catch the guy. Because he knocked him out.
I mean, it was hard not to catch him on all those cameras. You know what I mean? And all those people. But that guy deserved it. He kept coming up to him, chasing him. I would have done the same thing at that point. Especially after a few drinks, I don't give a fuck.
I will say, after I saw that, I was like, yo, Ronnie's, he's not a bad guy.
No.
Like, yo, after
I mean, to Sam, he was a monster.
Who?
To Sam, he was a monster.
Yeah.
I still see TikToks of the gaslighting, manipulating, whatever they want to throw. That shit was poison.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But I did not miss it every Thursday at 9. I was watching that shit. Don't every night.
So do you feel like they represented Italians? Like, don't get me wrong. You said Vinny, Paulie
100%, because if I had the money like he did when I was his age, I would have had a tanning bed in my thing too. I had a blowout for real. I really did. You know what I mean? Paulie definitely did. JWoww, I don't know. She just dressed like a slut. Snooki was definitely tan with the poof. She did it. You know what I mean? Dina was a joke. Vinny, not impressed. But Ronnie, yeah. Ronnie was sauced up, jacked up. You know what I mean? He was Puerto Rican and Italian.
He do what you do.
Yeah.
And especially at that age when you're young like that. You know what I mean? Like, and when I saw, like I said, I was an avid watcher. I like Ronnie.
Yeah.
And like you said, he was an animal when it came to Sam, though. He was
huge.
When he tore a crib up, when he threw the room.
Oh my God. Flipping the bed, this and that. I know.
I was like, that's flagrant.
Yeah.
But I will say, right, at the end of the day, when it comes down to Nicky Cretella, what do you want for yourself in the next couple years? And let's keep it a buck.
Just honestly, like good money coming in, health, and if they are still out there, just a good girl. Because to me, that's kind of priceless. It's easy to get girls.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
But like to get like one good one that like loves you unconditionally, that's impossible.
Damn.
So if anybody has it, like being single is cool, I get it, but like it's just cool, like if you're a kid in my eyes. You know what I mean?
I hear
So
that.
that's what I'm looking for. Health, wealth, and a good girl to do life with. That's something I want. That's hard to find, bro. There's hoes everywhere. BBL, fake tits, fake lips, Botox injection. You know what I mean? It's everywhere, bro. Every girl has a BBL. Every girl has fake tits, fake lips. It's everywhere.
He's preaching now.
You know what I mean? Where the good girls? Can't find. If they're wifed up as they should be.
They in church.
Yeah. Well, I'm going tomorrow's Palm Sunday, so I'll be there. So hopefully my man upstairs will help me.
He'll hook you up. Shout out to Draco. He said, is dude a decent DJ or was it a Jersey Shore dream? He talking about Paulie. Button pusher before button pushing was a thing. Do you think Paulie was? Because he did.
No, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to front. Paulie was on techniques. Paulie did not. Paulie had techniques. Paulie was whatever. I'll still, I think I'm better than him, as arrogant as that sounds.
Right. Because
I hear what he plays. He plays like a lot of top 40 and whatever. But I could definitely do the same types of shows that he does.
And when you hear the see now, when you get into techniques, you're talking about those are the pioneers of this DJ.
Yeah, they're different. Like with the CDJs, you slow them down on the outside. With you got to turn the knob.
Yeah.
On the techniques to speed them up, slow them down. It's a little different.
You got
needles. You know what I mean? We got the needles with those.
Yeah.
The pioneers, the CDJs, they just hook up to the mixer on your laptop, and you're good to go. Because as the needle gets close, you got to reset every time. The CDJs, you hit the track search on the back to reset it. So now, Paulie's a real DJ, and he can scratch. I'm not gonna lie here and sit and just talk shit. If it's valid, I will, obviously. But if there's credit due, I'll let him have it.
He was real Guido though. And what I liked about him too, he had a cool to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I seen him front on some joints. I seen him be nice to some joints. I seen him be like, "Yo, son, this is whack," and just get right up out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I gotta say, I appreciate that. So, with that being said, as far as like,
he blocked me on Instagram though.
Word.
Yeah, I was talking shit.
What you mean, son?
He blocked me on Instagram. I swear to God. If I look him up right now, it won't come up. I'm blocked.
Wait, what was you saying?
It was like 10 years ago. Who knows? I was just
flagrant.
Yeah, I was like, you just suck. I'm better than you. Whatever. I was just talking
trying
stupid
to get
shit.
on.
Yeah, and he blocked me.
Wow.
Yeah. Whatever,
So
bro.
if Paulie's watching right now, what are we saying to him? Yo, fam, my fault.
Nah.
I was trying to get on, but it is what it is.
You know what it was? I was mad. I'll admit it. I have no problem admitting it. I was mad that I didn't get on the Turn Up the Heat was the show. It was after Jersey Shore.
Oh.
And there wasn't enough people to get on there. It was going to be like an upstate cabin, snowboarding.
Copy.
You know, snowboarding, I don't like that. I just wanted to get on to get on.
Right.
And I had an interview with the casting crew in, of course, Little Italy on Mulberry Street. And they loved me.
Right.
They did like a green screen. I had my boy, Frankie, take videos of me tanning, the gym, DJing, because they were going to incorporate those clips with the interview clips with like, how they do it on Jersey Shore. They're just going to have a thing with the voiceover.
Uh-huh.
And I was great, and they loved me, but they just didn't have enough people. And they called me back. We don't have enough people for the show.
Cast the show itself.
Yeah, and then at that point, they were going to Italy, and then they were coming back to Jersey. It was just blowing up. It was going to be hard to compete. So that was like one. If I would have got in with that, I would have been a problem like Justin Bieber as a kid. If I had that type of money, I would have been an issue.
But remember this, don't name Justin Bieber because he's his own problem now. He in a whole heap of trouble. Right?
Well, what's good with him? I don't even follow him. I just know when he was young, he was a problem with money and Ferraris and shit.
He was doing his thing, but now he in full tears on the stage. Like he got a lot of shit going on.
Oh yeah.
But I will say this though, I personally would have watched if Nicky Cretella was on it, because now I'm sitting here talking to you and I'm just like, yo, this guy is hilarious.
I need to be on TV. I need to be on something like that. I just have like that. You know what I mean? And I'm sober too. If I have a couple drinks or if I'm whacked, like Big Ange from Mob Wives would say, it's a whole different. You have a whole different person here. It's two people. Because this blackout is sober. I cannot have a few. Let's say it comes out for one. What's the point? There's no point in having one. For what?
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
So now that's with the love life. In 5 years, where you want to be when you're DJing? Like, where do you want to be like as far as like your career is concerned? Because you have a lot of promising things going on. One, the hot sauce thing, I'm like really taken back. Like I'm like, okay, we definitely gonna have to share like the address number so I can get some cash app, whatever you take. No. And I feel like at the end of the day, what you should do is for those that do want to cop hot sauce, because we know we got cats out there. Yeah. Just make sure you let them know where they can find it. You know what I mean? So they can cop it off you.
100%. But if anybody they could DM me on Scoville City, SCOVILLE City.
That's the gram?
On Instagram or Nicky Cretella, either or. I respond to both.
Copy that.
You just tell me what it is, and I'll just shoot you over wherever you are. If they're local, they can meet up, because sometimes people like to meet up and see who the person is. But I mean,
but that's a little weird, right?
If it's like the next town or two over, and I know like of them, then I'll do that. But like random people, I just don't meet up with. I just bring it to UPS and then or USPS.
I hear that. One more time. You said spell it more.
Scoville City, SCOVILLE City.
Copy that. Space and city?
No, just one thing.
Got you. It's hot in here.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah.
All right. Rally Radio is definitely following. We following. Rally Radio is following. Don't forget to follow my guy, man. Scoville City. SCOVILLE City. It's popping over here too. We already following, so we know we want to get our hands on this hot sauce. You already know what it is. Pause. That's crazy. That came off the wrong way. But you know what I mean?
Hey, yo.
With that being said, shout out to Draco. He said, just follow. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Draco. I'll hook you up.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. So now that we've reached somewhat towards the end of the interview, there's always one question I always like to ask everybody that's here, right? If you could have that one dream vehicle, what would it be? And I mean, you could choose. We're not knocking. We're not holding no bar. Whatever you want to choose, what would it be?
Car. Definitely something Italian. I don't know what it is. It has to be, bro. 100%. The horse emblem on that thing, the hearing them, you know what I mean? I get into a lot of trouble with that if I had that. But that'd be one. Red, black, I don't know. I'd have to go see it. Whatever one sounds the nicest and is the fastest.
Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Early.
Something like that.
Something like
100%. That's been like a dream car to have a Ferrari. Lambo, I feel like everybody has that. Especially, you know what I mean? I always see like Lambos now in the trucks and shit.
Yes.
Which is still cool. You know what I mean? I like them, but like I don't really see too many like Ferraris.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I usually just hear them, and then by the time I see them,
they're gone.
Gone.
And I always say Ferrari has what we call like compared to Lamborghini, they have heritage.
Yeah.
See, and there's one thing I know about Italy and about Italians, it has a lot to do with old country. It has a lot to do with heritage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I see that and I look at Ferrari and I'm like, yeah, that's the difference between. I believe the owner of Lamborghini once worked for Ferrari.
I think I heard that too somewhere.
And he was told like, you'll never build cars, and so
they all say that shit.
They all,
you know what I mean? They said that to me when I was DJing at Schaefer's down Port in Port Jeff when I sucked and I didn't practice. Like, get this kid off. He sucks. He's not going anywhere. And then I surpassed everybody else. So don't listen to that. If anybody's listening and people talk shit, it's not real.
It's not real.
It's not real.
I hear that, man. Shout to, she said, Mondina Spider. That does seem like it suits you.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even know what that looks like, but I'm going to look it up.
So a Mondina is actually a beautiful two-door, but Spider being it didn't come with a roof at all. Like, so obviously we can't park this outside.
I don't like soft tops or even
no top.
Oh, no top at all.
How we say? Oh, listen, my wife is like topless. He get me in trouble already. I ain't gonna end of it, yo. Yo. With that being said, man, shout to Nicky Cretella, man. This has definitely been one of the more lively interviews we've ever had in here. Yeah. It was definitely spicy in here. We ain't talking about the hot sauce. Yeah. You already know what
Wait
it
till
is.
I hop up and DJ next time. I'm looking forward to that.
Let's go.
Real. Yeah.
Let's go. So we gonna say that we have Memorial Day weekend and things coming up here at www.barsandhoopsradio.com. We would love to have you here to DJ a set. As you know, you may have to bring the entertainment, but we'll bring the drinks.
That's it. I'm down with that. You tell me when. Tell me when.
With that being said, man, shout to everybody who's tuned in, paying attention. You already know what it is, man. It's Rally Radio. We are in the building. This has definitely been a very interesting interview. And for those that don't know,
the Italian Bernie Mac.
Yeah. Shout to my God, NYC. Definitely an interesting interview here today, man. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, normally, we get people here, it's like, we kind of keep it calm, but the minute I heard you talk, like, and I was talking to you, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we just gonna no holds barred. No
filter, man. I'm sorry. This is just how it is.
It is what it is.
Because you're interviewing me. If I'm putting up in front and not saying what I want and how I feel, it's just
that's a fact.
I should have stayed home.
Shout there. He said the one in the Dr. Dre video. I need a doctor. I don't know what you're talking about there. D hair. What's going on? That's Jessica Grandy. I will say this, man. This has definitely been a very, very, very great interview.
No, it's been fun.
I had fun.
It's been fun. I'm looking forward to the next one where it's here or here. Every podcast I've ever been on, this one takes the cake.
Let's go.
Everybody's looking at this from me right now. Make sure you follow them, please. This place is hysterical. I cannot wait to be back.
Let's go.
Honestly.
Rally Radio Podcast on YouTube at Rally Radio Podcast. You know where to find the same as Instagram, YouTube, Rally Radio Podcast, where the fast life meets the fast lane. We can see my guy Nicky's in the fast lane. He is in the fast lane. Shout to my guy Dorian. He said, "Where's your favorite?" Dorian is a chef.
Yeah. Where's he from?
Where's your favorite pizza spot? He's actually from what's Lynbrook.
Lynbrook.
So you got Valley Stream, Lynbrook, and then what's your favorite pizza spot? He says.
Man,
you got a couple.
I'll probably say Table 87 in Brooklyn. Table 87 is coal fire pizza.
Really?
That's real Guido shit, right? It's good. Table 87 over there.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And we'll talk about Dave Portnoy in another one because I can't stand that guy. He's not even Italian, running around raiding pizzas. Disgusting. Don't get me started on that guy, please. I'll give you a good review or not.
I hear that. So with that being said, man, like I said, shout to everybody who's tuned in pin doing. He said, he said, I'm black. I don't go to BK. Yeah, whatever. Shout to Jessica Grandy. She said Table 87. I'm gonna check them out. He said, do you know anything in Nassau? Like Nassau.
Honestly, when I lived in Floral Park, Nona's Pizza and Pasta was like the real Guido spot. It used to be around, but that was like 20 years ago. I told you I used to live in Floral Park. I haven't been here in a long time.
Right.
But if he wants to go anywhere in Nassau, sheesh. Not off the top of my head. Suffolk, Coliseo in Port Jeff. That's a good spot. But other than that, you know what I mean? I make my own pizza, to be honest with you. I don't really You know what I mean?
Right.
I make my own stuff because it's fun.
Right.
You know what I
Get
mean?
a kick out of it. Same as him. That's why
You can't go wrong with that.
Shout out to my guy Dorian. He's a wild chef. Dorian Smokehouse. Don't forget to follow that on Instagram. Dorian Smokehouse. Shout out to Jessica Gray. She said, Dorian, you can come to Brooklyn. And he said, you can come to Brooklyn. Cut it out. That's what I'm talking about.
Wait.
Grandy, tell him.
He knows about Nonos? I can't see him out with my glasses.
No, that's actually Draco.
Draco. So he knows about Nona's Pizza and Pasta. Is he from Floral Park?
Draco is actually from Queens.
Okay.
So
It's right on the border, so he knows what I'm talking about, right? He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Right here. I used to live here, for real. It's right on 153 Irving Avenue. I used to live in Floral Park.
This was a great interview. I will say this, like I said, shout to Nicky Cretella, man. And like I said, even when the flyer was done, when I got the flyer done and I got it back, and I was like, yo, nah, you got to put the Italian flag.
Bro, I love that. I shot that immediately. I love that. That has to be like a thing.
Yo, so with that being said, don't forget, where could they find you live? Do you do any live music anywhere? No, right? Or it's parties only?
I do like sets at like clubs and venues. You know what I mean? Right now, I don't have that manager that I told you about because I never was really a manager. I'm just trying to get in my own spots. Right. It's hard unless you know someone.
So where could they find you on the regular? Like they just gotta follow you on Instagram. You put it out.
Just Instagram. As soon as I get booked, as soon as I get a flyer, I'm out. You know what I mean? I have a couple things in the works, but there's like agreements with KTU Flashback. Yo, shout out to Goomba Johnny, bro. I love that guy. I grew up listening to him on KTU.
Let's go.
And I met him not too long ago, finally, at the Rodea Comedy Show in Nassau. KTU. Wow. Goomba Johnny, that's funny.
Wow.
But yeah, Instagram, Nicky Cretella, that's where you can find me, and I always post on my stories of where I'm going to be. Hopefully, I'll be at Gossip again soon, but if not, you should go there. The best place in the world. Gossip off 110 in Melville. Love it. This is not even like a paid thing to say. I just love that spot.
Yeah, he gonna get me jammed up, man. I ain't gonna be able to come outside for like 2 weeks.
So it's gonna rain for the next 2 weeks anyway, so we'll wait. Wait till the weather gets nice.
Yo, with that being said, man, we had a fantastic time here today with my guy, Nicky Cretella, man. I'm gonna tell you, you always got a home here.
Bro, I love it. Thank you for having me, for real. I love it. I cannot wait to be back, like I said, here and in the booth right there.
Yes. So everybody that doesn't know, if you don't know, we are part of www.barsandhoopsradio.com. Bars and Hoops Radio, where the world of hip-hop and sports live. You know where to find us. We definitely going to have a set for my guy, Nicky, man, because I want to hear the EDM music and all that. You already know how I get down. Shout out to Jessica Green. She said, peace, Nicky. And shout out to Draco. He said, good dude, Nick. So he followed you on the Scoville City. Don't forget, if you want the hot sauce, pause. You already know where to find us. That's crazy. That comes off the vernacular. Wow. But you know where to find them. Scoville City, Nicky Cretella, man. This has definitely been a great interview. And I'll say another thing before we move forward. The one thing that we don't get a lot is people that's honest about this motorcycle riding thing, right? And the reason I say that is because everybody try to act like they're the safest individual. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of times when I get on my motorcycle, I feel like I'm Superman. Like I'm like, yo, like it ain't happening.
That's
like
the only way to stay alive.
It's the only way to stay alive. I like that. That's the only way to stay alive, man. I always say it'll stay dangerous.
Exactly.
That's the only way you really gonna make it happen is staying dangerous. When you tell people to stay safe, what do? When you safe, you always find yourself tucking away. When you dangerous, you let it all hang out. People stay away from that.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Shout to my guy, Nicky Cretella, man. We appreciate you for tuning in. You're not going nowhere no time soon, right? You're going to sit in for the little bit of the rest of the show that we have.
Of course.
I appreciate that. Yes. With that being said, we got a couple other things going on right here. We actually got a, what I like to call our, we call it the, let's get to it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
where we
were just about to wrap it up, but let's see what we got. Rally Radio, who we got in the box?
Miller Time NYC.
Let's go, Miller Time NYC's in the building. You already know it. Now, this guy, Miller Time NYC, he is our quintessential Ford guy. Now, if you didn't hear Nicky say it before, if he didn't say it, we was having a conversation earlier. He is a true Ford Mustang 99 to what? 2004?
2004. That was my year. I also had like a 94 because it was the only one that I found that wasn't beat to death.
Yes.
But the 99 was like my prize.
Favorite.
I loved it. Straight piped it, new tires, had Cobra rims. It was actually a V6 body with a V8 motor in it.
Early.
And I blew it up racing the Hellcat on Sunrise Highway. A rod went through the oil pan a week after I got it. And, bro, that thing was a beast. A week. That was my favorite car. God said, nah, you're not having it for more than a week.
You're not having it for more than a week.
Yeah. I blew it up, bro. I was racing. We were doing like 120, 130, cutting in and out of cars on 7 a.m. on the way to work in Mexico. And then,
in Mexico.
I mean? Yeah. That was my thing, bro. I still see my Snapchat memories. I get sick when I see that thing, bro.
Oh, shout to Miller Time NYC. So what's going on, Miller? What it is, man? First off, good to hear from you. Thanks for calling in. What you got for us today? We got Nicky Cretella in the building.
Oh, I've been tuned in. And
hopefully you've been entertained.
Yes, you have. And you kept me. You made me old.
Old. My age is just a number, bro. There's no such thing.
You went back with Lester Hall.
Yo,
that's why I asked. Is it still running? Is it still live?
I mean, it's not how it used to be, man. They used to have like basement Saturdays, and they used to have a different like real DJ there every week, and it was like a thing.
Right.
Tickets, main stage, gone now.
And the Palladium too.
The Palladium. Whoa, that's. Yo, you threw the throwback through it way back like this.
That was a spot.
I had to say it because he went back when he said Webster Hall. He opened the door. I can't be mad, man. He opened the door.
Bro, that was a spot. I kid you not. For 3 months straight, I went there every weekend.
Word?
Every Saturday. But there was nothing on Long Island. What's there to do?
Right.
Dizzy's.
Right.
We get into fights every day where every fuckboy on Long Island goes there.
Early.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Bridgeview, you know what I mean? But Webster Hall was it, bro, because the basement, you had the dubstep. Everyone was on drugs. The main stage, you had hip-hop with all the rap, right? And then the top, you had like the festival, the show. And then you had the VIP lounge up top.
Yes.
You had everything to do, just running around, shirt off every time. You know what I mean? Standing on the speakers in the crowd, going crazy. I was doing the Bernie in that bitch. I was going wild. I miss that place a lot. I really do. Webster Hall was it.
I can only imagine.
Yo, Miller, this has got to be one of our most off-the-wall interviews we've had thus far.
Yes.
This is
That's why I typed in the Italian Bernie Mac.
The Italian Bernie Mac. Thank you for that, bro. I'm not going to let that one slide.
The only thing he didn't say, he just said it differently. Remember how Bernie Mac said it? You don't understand. I ain't scared of you mothers.
So what you got for him today, Miller? What's going on?
What I did want to say was I've never rode a motorcycle, but I know friends that do. And one of the guys that mentioned, he says you always get dressed for the fall. Does that make sense?
You always get dressed for the fall.
It does, and not for the ride. And I'm not going to even lie. Like, I never wear gear ever. Recently, I just got Alpine boots, jacket, and gloves just because, like, on this bike, I've been cutting it up way more than any other one.
Right.
But luckily, I've never fell. You know what I mean? Hopefully, it still continues to stay that way. But you always should, especially if you're new, because most of the time, like summertime, I will be in shorts and a muscle shirt, of course. But, like, it just, you should. Because if you have tattoos, especially, road rash is a bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you're blue collar like me, you work with your hands. How are you going to do that?
Right.
You're not. Even if you got a keyboard.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you definitely should dress for the fall. But I don't even like thinking like that. I just like, I'm going to go for a ride quick. I'm going to do my thing, have fun, come home, put the bike away, change the oil in the week, and I'm done. You know what I mean? But you're right. And gear is expensive, but so is a hospital bill.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Now, I have had road rash. I have had road rash. I believe Miller probably remembers this.
Yeah.
I had bought a 2006 at that time, and I took a hard fall, whatever, and I came to work with my whole arm rashed up crazy.
Yes. You left the car at home.
Yo,
and you just sat, and it was I think it was the weather was nice. It was cooperating. So he was like, you know what? Let me do this today, and didn't quite work out that way.
My whole arm right here, front the forearm, rear arm up here. My leg, because I took a wild fall. Like,
how fast you going?
I wasn't even going that fast. And in all honesty, I was probably doing like 40, But what happened was somebody went into a turn lane. You know how you have those turn lanes specifically. They came out of that, and I was on the straight.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was going hard. So I figured when they came out, they was going to keep going. They didn't.
Yeah.
So when they came out, they just stopped. So now I got to lean out of it. Wasn't happening, kid. Boom. Slid across the ground like this.
It's like that sometimes, I know.
Nothing but a T-shirt and jeans on.
Especially right now with all the sand.
Oh, yeah.
I still have chicken strips on my new tires because I'm not taking turns hard yet because there's still so much sand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once the rain washes it away and it's good and they're hot, then I'll lean more. But I don't lean right. I'm not trying to press nobody right now because if I drop it, I'm paying for it, not them.
That's a
You know
fact.
what I mean?
That's a fact.
So you got to be mindful of that shit too also.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, this part of the season is real weary.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that March, April, the beginning of May, people still not ready to see you on the street.
No.
So it's like you got to be extra wary about that. You know what I mean? Like you got to be like, I give them 2 lanes, or I won't just like I won't white past them. I'll be like, let me get in the full lane. Once the summertime pop up, you know what I mean? You're a little different. But I'll tell you right now, you always see the bad accidents now. So what's going on, Mill? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, I mean, I keep my eye out for the guys that ride because you know me. I'm on me and I-95 spend a lot of time together. So all I see is those cats riding down the white line, and it's like, can y'all not do that? Because if I have to go across, I'm not going to feel it. And I'm just being real. I'm not going to feel it. You're the one that's going to take that hit harder than I am. Yeah. My truck may take it, but you know what? It's all right. My truck is going to take it.
Right.
But it's like, I try my best to keep my eye out for you guys because I know that you guys are out there. Like I said, my friend, he's out. He may not be out there, but he's up there in age and he's a family man and everything. But, I still keep my eye out for them because you guys come out there quick. Y'all come
if you have time to hit them, they're not moving fast enough.
Woo!
They're not splitting fast enough. If you have time to hit them when you're switching lanes, they're not moving fast enough.
Yo.
Yeah, I hear you. But I do have a question for you with your hot sauce. I know that it's hot because it's burning, but it does have flavor in it, yes? Because it's not
100%. All of them have flavor because in marketing, if I was to sell you something that's hot as fuck, you'll use it once a month. But if I give you something that has relatively good heat, that's substantial, then you'll like that, right? Yeah. With good flavor, you'll use it all the time. So it'll be at the top of the bottle, go down, and you'll hit me up again. You know what I mean? Because if I make it too hot for you, you're never going to use it. I'll never make money.
Right.
So that's why I said before, it took a lot of trial and error.
I mean, ever since I had COVID, I think I had lost some of my senses in terms of taste. So every now and then I would need a little bit of hot sauce. So just to see if I can still feel the flavor.
Well, this one, the Reaper will definitely going to let you know if it's there or not. I promise you.
Definitely.
100%.
All right, guys. I don't want to keep you, but it was a pleasure. The interview was very entertaining, and I learned a lot about you. I'm already going. As soon as I get off the phone with you, I'm going to your Instagram page. I'm going to sign up. And my son, he loves heat. I went to Buc-ee's over there in South Carolina, and I got the beef jerky. I got the Ghost Reaper, the hottest one that they had.
That's what you're talking about.
Carolina Reaper, Ghost Pepper's right behind it.
My son was talking so much shit, he couldn't talk shit no more. Yeah. So good. Exactly. So I like because he still likes the heat. So because I can go in there, I can bring him anything, and he's like, "Yo, Dad, this ain't working. This ain't working." So I think I may have found the challenge. So he might like what you have.
He's definitely gonna love it. I've never once. Maybe you'll be the first bad review, but I've never had one about the Reaper ever. So I'll definitely give you guys some of that.
And not for nothing, Miller. If you go to his Instagram page, he has a video on a prior podcast that he was on, and they drinking the hot sauce out like not. It wasn't a lot. You know how it's about as much as you put on chicken, right?
Okay.
But yo, they was like, boy. Yo, and I was laughing. I was like, damn, son. I said, yo, we definitely gonna have to cop some from the guard. Yeah. We definitely got to see what it is. I love the support anyway, and I love to support those who support us. So definitely gonna cop a bottle. And like I said, maybe in another speed and greet, we may stop and get some chicken or something like that.
Yeah.
And we do what we do. You already know what it is.
All right. That sounds like a plan.
Yes.
So it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Let me get off this phone so y'all can wrap up the show. Definitely, hopefully the paths will cross.
Yes.
The paths will
Definitely,
cross.
man. Thank you.
Yes, let's go. Shout to my guy, Miller Time NYC. You already know what it is, Miller. We appreciate you. We're going to finish off strong. You already know what it is.
As we always do. The struggle continues.
The struggle continues.
Peace.
Peace, Miller. Shout to my guy, Miller Time NYC. Shout to Dorian. Like I said, he's a chef. He said, recipe ghost pepper vinegar base, finish the rest. Look, you don't tell them the secrets. You don't tell them the rest is buying from Nicky Cretella.
You got to buy and try and figure it out yourself. It's good AF. That's the rest. Good AF. That's all you're getting from me.
Shout out to everybody who's tuned in, paying attention, man. We appreciate everybody who rocked with us today. Today was a great Saturday. Great interview we had today with my guy, Nicky Cretella. Don't forget, you can check him out at Nicky Cretella on Instagram. Don't forget Scoville City on Instagram. All one word. Not hard to find at all. You got to make sure you check them out. You got any shout outs you want to give, kid?
Everybody tuned in, thank you. I appreciate it. I see the comments. I see everybody that's coming in there. Next time, we'll have a good setup, whether it's back here or the DJ. You think it's good now? I was just getting my feet wet. I don't want to get canceled before I even got put on. So,
nah, you good.
But if you know me, this is it. But put the kids to bed next time, please, because I don't want to be considered a bad influence when I'm on here.
Look. Rally radio at night, man, because we gotta make sure the kids is in bed. And he was nice. I know he had way more to say because we was having a conversation for y'all before we tuned in with everybody else, and it was crazy. We was laughing. So trust me when I tell you, man, it's definitely been one of the more lively interviews we have, and we've had some great interviews. Shout to my guy Wayne Speed. My guy Wayne Speed. I'm telling you, man, you got RX-7 guys are hitting me up now. They like, yo. What's that guy's name and number? They want to get their cars tuned. You already know what it is. We got a couple other things we got coming up. KDA Treatment. These guys out here are definitely one of the most premier when it comes to detailing and cleaning cars. They're going to have something in the Jacob Javits in another week or two. It's definitely going to be interesting. Shout to Coach K. He tuned in. Shout to everybody who tuned in. Shout to Draco. Shout to my guy Dorian Thompson. Shout to Jessica Grandy. Let's go. That was definitely interesting. Shout to Dave. He said these dudes ain't loyal. He was keeping it a buck. You already know what it is. Shout to my guy Tiny. Shout to Draco. Shout to SP to Dawn. Let's go. Shout to Miller Time NYC. Oh, sorry that. I mean Shadow Gamer. He already tuned in. Shout, like I said, B Durst, a.k.a. that's your people. Tell them we said we appreciate it for tuning in. And I see your uncle had tuned in, right? Who was that?
Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave. Let's go, Uncle Dave, for tuning in. Definitely was a great show today. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. And we appreciate Nicky Cretella for showing us some love. Definitely. So with that being said, had a good time. There's a lot of things we got coming up. We rolling out the 19th to this car show at the convention center in Jersey. After that, we're going to be getting our little kart racing on, and we're going to be bowling too. So let's get to it. It can't be gutter ball rally if we ain't bowling. You already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we appreciate everybody and anybody who tuned in. That was actually tremendous. I'm telling you, I had a good time.
No, that was fire.
I had a good time. That was definitely.
I cannot wait to be back.
Yes, let's go. And we gotta have my man Nicky back. Cause that was, I'm gonna tell you, it was interesting. I know you got a lot more to say. I know you
I could go till 8 o'clock tonight.
Let's go. You already know what it is.
Till 8 o'clock tonight, easy.
Let's go. You already know what it is. So with that being said, everybody, don't forget you can find us here Saturdays, YouTube, Rally Radio Podcast, Instagram, Rally Radio Podcast, Facebook at Gutterball Rally. You already know what it is. It's the bearded one here. Nicky Cretella in the building. Like we said, you already know what it is. And with that being said, until next week, we are out. Let's get it.
Drop the clutch, hit the gas. Rally Radio, where the fast life meets the fast lane.
Yeah.
You're now tuned into Bars and Hoops Radio. Where the world of hip-hop and sports live.
Dropping the clutch and then I hit the gas. Wheels screeching, tires burning, I'm flying past. Gotta get home quick, don't wanna miss the class. They schooling you on whips and how to make them fast. Talking about everything from cars to planes. What's hot, what's next, and how to flip the game. They talk in my language, we speak the same. That whip talk complex, but yet they keep it plain. From the news, the interviews, they keep it cool. They give reviews, everything from parts to tools. Can't lose, come to whips, they not no fools. Don't miss the show, the start time is noon. The bearded one, S.I. Sean, they crazy though. You can't miss it, tune in to Rally Radio.